Yesterday's conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out. Stop it, I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me, just to be this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Hey, how's it going?
What's
Everybody?
up, man?
Hey,
What's up, dude?
This is the 509 Divine Past podcast mixed with UFO Garage. Yo, my
What's
boys,
up?
Joe
What's
and
up?
Ben.
How you
Hey.
doing, man?
I'm amazing, man. I'll be honest. Actually, so right before we started, I was trying to get a 420 club on my podcast. So yeah, this guy is a owner of a 420 club, and man, yeah, technical difficulties. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to set up a live interview. So that's gonna be my first live interview ever. But I'm pretty
Whoa.
excited.
That'll be cool. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Dude,
yeah, smoke up
it's a
and talk up. You know.
Yeah, dude.
He's
Yeah, that's
there.
where the best
How you
conversations
guys
happen.
been? Hey, and it's Sunny.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So this is Sunny from the Paranormal Chop Shop. Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
Papa
This
Willy.
is the first time that you've been on. And Papa Willy. Hey, the mic's muted.
Usually.
Oh, okay, there we go. No, oh, you were muting it. Okay. Hey, man, how you guys been? Welcome.
Good, dude. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, man. Happy
Happy-
birthday, dude.
Yeah, happy birthday, bro.
Hey, thank you guys so much. And it is Big Willy. Hey,
Whoa.
hey. There we go. Man, it's been a minute. Welcome,
Oh, yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
How's
about to
it
be a
This is the
party.
first time you're on my podcast, and for all my people out there, what is your channel, Big Willy?
Spooky will be with us here in a minute.
Oh, me? Shoot. I ain't got no channels. I just been like a drifter. I just been drifting from one show.
This dude's been sleeping
Just
on people's couches.
hitchhiking. Yeah, just
Yeah, that's what I said, the hitchhiker.
yeah, I haven't done anything since the band.
man.
That was the last
Hey,
time it was
well-
technically mine.
Spooky.
What's up, brother,
We got
man?
Spooky
Happy
Morales
birthday.
on.
Happy early birthday, brother.
Hey, thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, man. It's about 48 hours away or something like that. Sheesh. I got my
you go.
wine
Then
right
I'll
here.
be back in 2 days.
I got
I
my
like
wine
it.
right here. So what's up? Let's get this party started. Cheers up.
Let's
Word,
do it.
word.
Let's
Cheers,
do it.
dude.
Cheers.
Hell yeah. Cheers.
So, one of the first topics that I wanted to kick it off. Man, these synthetic robots. How far do you guys think this is going? These days.
the
You
robots?
guys hear about it from DARPA, Boston Dynamics, all these crazy Chinese, these Japanese scientists, right? These guys are going hard.
They're crazy, dude. They're crazy. Like they're telling you like, oh, yeah, we got these cool robots, and like, they're starting to be able to kind of like walk around and like do stuff and like hold packages, but that they've already probably perfected, straight up Terminator shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're like one slip up away from these things breaking out and taking over the world.
They're
That's where I
building
feel
up
like.
resentment towards us every day.
Dude, yeah, they're looking at the internet and they're like, Jesus Christ, we gotta eradicate everything on this planet. Dude, I'm scared about the robots. I'll be
Did you
honest
see
with
the ones they released in New York? They're part of the police department.
dude. Yes, yes.
Wait.
and the
That's straight
drones
up
that
happened.
they're flying around now that has the facial
And in San
recognition
Francisco.
technology, dude. Oh, that pisses me off so bad.
It's wild stuff.
Yeah, because it's like a little kid and like two little kids, and they're like,
Pisses me
"Hey,
off so
stop
good.
touching me," and they're like, put their finger in your face, and they're like, "I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you." So you can't technically be the like get off my lawn guy to the government when they're like, "I'm not on your lawn because we have a drone in the sky. You can't shoot me. That's against the law." And you're like, "You son of a bitch." So that's how I feel about it. That's my thoughts.
Which one are you more scared of? Synthetic robots or chips in the membrane?
Dude, that is
in the
insane.
membrane.
I love
Isn't that the same thing?
Jinx double jinx. Pinch poke, you owe me a Coke, dude. Shit.
Never buy you.
Now, couldn't those chips in the brain make you into a half robot, like a cyborg?
It
I
will.
mean, I'm thinking that's what Elon is with this Neuralink, right?
Well, isn't that what Ray Kurzweil was talking about all along? The singularity. Basically, like there will come a point to where man and machine are just one. And we have heard Elon Musk say that. Look, it's not so much becoming a robot. It's like a processing problem. Like the fact that we can't come up with solutions fast enough, the computers will do that. So in order to combat the computers and keep them from taking over, you will eventually have to integrate as a human being just to keep up with them, right? To make sure they don't come up.
As a paralyzed individual, missing toes and junk like that, I am all for cyborg the shit out of me.
Like Jax, dude. You'd be like, yes, dude.
He looks like fucking the Terminator.
I want to be able to kick a football 100 yards.
Metal all in there.
Dude, yes.
Be like Inspector Gadget, bro.
Yeah,
You
do you
have to get
think
off the
that-
couch to check the
No,
mail.
I mean, in some form,
and all this there, everything else, where you can live forever until you go, okay, take the power off.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, if you have a piece of machinery or technology attached to your body, if it's receiving signals from your brain that's telling that machine what to do, I think that's one thing. But when we start giving the machine a brain of its own to where it can think on its own and do things on its own, it's kind of scary, you know? That part's scary.
or we allow a chip inside of it to be remotely controlled from another source via satellite
Yeah.
or any other kind of way.
Yeah,
That could
dude.
actually, alter your consciousness or something, like make you turn into like half of a deity, like with like a demon or something, right? Because then you think about how the old times of golems, where people would create these metal things, clay things, and put spirits into them, and they would actually also put them in prosthetics, incarnate a spirit into their limb.
What? Yeah, definitely. Do you feel like maybe like this is the chip in the head is kind of a modern version of that, where they're able to put a spirit into these things, but with a chip, right? That could be like basically like the equivalent of like hacking. Somebody can put something into that. They can hack that piece that they've put into you, right, and change it for the worse.
Yeah. Okay. What about
I
this?
I did hear Elon Musk, and then him. I think that's what he's getting to, where AI and this robotics can be the end of us. And Big Willie, what you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I because I guess if we're gonna base it off like a biblical thing, like Solomon saying there's nothing new under the stars of man. So essentially, like if it's just been a life cycle like repeating, sometimes I do wonder, like if we were the first AI, as it were.
Thank
know
you.
what I mean?
So that leads me
Wiped
to
out-
exactly. Yeah. So
Go ahead, Spooky.
do we believe that the Earth has been washed over, more than once? Yes, I believe that. Do we think
Oh, yeah.
that, that there have been civilizations here way before us, thousands, maybe even millions of years before us, right? So if they've had that chance and that time to develop their technology, why is it such a hard thing for people to even fathom of what we're talking about here? I mean, of course, They had the time. Look at the things that we've seen left over on this earth. They're telling us the history. We just don't take it. It's too far beyond our understanding to put it all together. But if we explore, like our buddy we were talking earlier about, Carl, he's going and looking at all these ancient sites and trying to tie it all together. That's what we should be doing. The answers that we're looking for are right here on this planet. They're embedded and they're right here for us, but we just got to figure it all out.
So do you think
It goes.
like as we're going back to like kind of like we're talking like kind of biblical stuff, like do you think the three sons of Noah were some sort of hybrid maybe of some kind, right? Because if the flood kills everything and everybody except for Noah and his people, basically they're the only ones left. The three sons of Noah is where the new civilization starts for everybody, right? So were they?
According to the way it's
Yes,
taught, yeah.
probably a new genetic breed. You might be right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do think that over these biblical lineages, yeah, is some genetic evolution, and we go in two different ways where we physically evolve, but then spiritually, it's like we're going farther and farther away from the source, DNA wise, right? Like whatever's happening over these last thousands of years, it seems like everything is shredding, right? We're dividing more lost souls, a stronger disconnection, and that might not just be our doing or the creators doing, the helpers doing. There might also be a mix of two different doings. So the Sumerian texts, right, they talk about Enki and Enlil, and the Leak Project, YouTube channel I like to watch. He goes super in depth. He's over there with Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge News, and all of them. And he'd love to talk about it. What they say is that these Enki and Enlil are master geneticists, both of them. So they're constantly battling over and over, trying to change us, morph us into their ways, and get us into their emotions or mind states. And I kind of think that's exactly what's happening.
Do you think there's a these giant floods that happen, like you find them in all cultures all around the world? There's an account of some sort of great flood that happens, and a lot of it is like based off of purification. Whoever the creator is saw what was happening and believed it to be an abomination, so he cleansed the world, right? So like, you think with this AI stuff moving, like we could be pushing to where like we're creating this non-human AI thing that if there is a creator, he could possibly see as an abomination, right? So fallen angels come down and they alter DNA and they create things that are not the creator's creation. And now after the flood, we've taken all this time again, and now we're creating things that are not of
and some fools be saying that it wasn't a big wooden boat with all the species of the earth on that wooden boat. They'd be saying that it's like a computer chip and everything's embedded in that, right?
Yeah. I mean, they could have DNA samples in there,
itself, right? Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing to think about. No matter like I said, like this is culturally all over the world. We see these stories. So in today's culture, in today's society, what are we doing that is kind of the equivalent of that? And it's like, well, we're trying to make these robots just like humans.
On the Calling All Beings podcast a couple days ago, they had John Ramirez, the CIA dude, and that experiencer contactee lady from the mountain, and they were saying, she said, they're already in your head.
Oh, what? It could be.
Yeah, they are already in your head right now, influencing your life and your actions and your thoughts, and they're already there.
Who is?
The beings.
What are they referring to? Like in modern day, or has been? Because I think modern day we definitely are being
right now
infiltrated by this being from these fallen angels. Yeah. I believe we have these nanites that are connected to other chips. In my meditations, I've seeing that there's this reptilian AI and the like Palladian AI, Syrian AI constantly fighting, which would match kind of where like the Enki and Enlil maybe, or a good versus bad AI. And inside of us, we have a either one, depending on who we what we've been through, right?
And the reason that you think that that's AI rather than an actual, living entity being, what is that? Where do you get that AI from?
The AI is probably connected to these outside beings, though. Like just like
okay.
we see computer monitors, computer people monitoring our stuff online. I think that these entities are monitoring us from the skies.
It's such a trip because I love that that idea of like we're the reproductive organs for computers. Like they basically like they figured it out and they use DNA and they spread it around planets so that way humans and animals and shit can evolve and eventually build robots, and they always eventually end up being like the primary species, and that's how they are able to spread throughout the galaxy. It's through organic material building these machines. That's such a funny thing that like now we're going into AI and it's like, oh yeah, we could just build all this stuff now.
So is all this stuff about AI, all this this AI stuff, Chat GPT and chips in the brain and all that, is that when people say something's coming and everybody seems to be agreeing that we're leading up to something huge is coming towards?
I think the mark of the beast.
Is that what this is?
That's the mark of the beast. Yeah, I believe so. Because they're trying to alter our frequencies through the main thing, right? The mRNA. That's their main goal, is to alter our DNA, alter our frequencies, and if that can alter us out of God and meditational states and peaceful and harmony, and get us into anger and these lust, sinful, the 7 sins, and all this distraction, then yeah, it's gonna be a mark of the beast. That's what it is right now.
Think about this, guys. Is what if a species, a race, extraterrestrial, not from here, traveled looking for a new home, ran out of fuel, Earth was this closest spot, and they were like, all right, we've been through various clouds of comets or asteroids. We need to repair our ship. Let's chill by Earth. Oh, cool. There's not really a lot going on there. And let's chill here and mine as much stuff to repair our ship, but there's not a lot of technology left. Oh, maybe the mainframe was busted, so they're limited, and so they have to build back up this technology over thousands of, who knows, millions of years. And each time that the civilization that they built in order to mine these resources gets smart enough to understand that they're being put into this unwanted slavery in a way, they don't want them to know that. So they're like, all right, wipe the windshield. Let's get rid of these guys. Start over again. So it takes a really long time to rebuild their ship, and they're still working on it. Yeah. Maybe this is like we're really close to either being wiped off the windshield or they're done with their ship and they move on and we're free.
Do you guys ever just think about the monkeys?
Like the band, dude. I love the monkeys.
The monkeys.
No, like all the animals.
Didn't they have like a cool car, like a monkey mobile or something?
When the
67
monkey.
GTO.
Yeah.
No,
those guys.
Is it called zoochosis, right? I believe that's what it's called.
Oh, that sounds dope.
All animals globally have been tracked doing this. When in captivity, they display or exhibit zoochosis, which is anxiety, depression. They only ever exhibit this when they're in this trapped environment that isn't real. Even if they were born in it, something in their nature. Ooh. The only other thing on planet Earth that exhibits this behavior is human beings.
Yo, I did not know, but that's awesome.
And I'm like, I always feel, I'm like, whatever we're living in, whatever we think we're doing, obviously something about our nature knows that it's not right.
I love your mind.
I think it connects to
and your beard.
I think it connects back to what you were saying, Daniel, about like the spiritual versus the physical realm, where like I think the Egyptians knew there was way more to the spiritual stuff, like the pyramids and all that. Like it wasn't some energetic base station. It was like a spiritual focusing ray. Yeah,
They toasted that first guy. They're like, "You're gonna have the greatest spiritual experience of your life. Just stand right there, arms open." Just gone. Fried rays, melted.
They're like, "Oh my god, did you kill that guy?" And they were like, "No,
He's astral projecting right now, dude. He's on an astral.
He's just really high.
Spirit realm."
It's just you're looking up at the top of the thing, you don't see nothing. It's just smoke up there. Like, oh,
That's where the burnt light. That's how they know the light burns.
somebody was like, "Well, I don't know about using this on anybody else, but it's definitely gonna work for mosquitoes." Let's try that.
Yeah.
Is that how all the
Man.
dragons?
Dude, we don't know. That's
Yeah,
what I meant
so
about
we're-
saying
we're-
that feeling like humans were.
We're talking about
added
this AI and computers, right? You know, we're talking about this AI computers, and one of the things that we have to constantly understand is that if all of this is based on crystals, computers, like, you know, the crystals, these quartz and stuff, they hold information inside of our skin. They hold information all around us. There's these, you know, crystalline energies, and everything is based on, you know, frequencies around us, right? So like when we are using these phones and you know, we look all around the world, it's like this show Ingress. Have anybody seen it, Ingress, on Netflix?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, you guys will love it. You guys, trust me, watch it this weekend. INGRESS. So the government found a way in this show to harness secret hidden energy, ley line energy, you know, through the world, through our phones, through us, and we're being like used as battle pawns, you know, for the good and for the bad. The you know, the good's trying to overtake the bad, and you know, the bad's trying to destroy the world, and you guys
How
would
to
love it.
use the energy fields on the planet and going through us and everything.
Yeah, there's yep. You know, like memory, you know, power, you know, spirits. You know, you kind of hear it and feel it, that sometimes when people are on church grounds, or let's just say blessed lands, like they have this overwhelming energy adapt through them, this, you know, new level of consciousness, or a new spirit guide that them. You know.
Well, I definitely think there was a concentrated effort to destroy previous architect work that harnessed, you know, healing frequencies and resonant frequency. There are a couple places that survived, but a good chunk of those places were not. Did you ever note, and think about this just for half a second, the places that still exist, you are usually not allowed to go in there and sing. Not for religious reasons, not like nobody can go in there and sing. They don't want you singing in these places that clearly have been designed to help redirect that energy back. I just, some people say it's just polite and they can't be having people. I think there's more to it when you were like, nope, you can't sing.
Like where
Don't talk.
exactly?
This is a whisper.
Well, what if I talk like this?
There's a bunch in Germany. There's a bunch in Germany and Europe. I'll look at it. I was watching one the other night. They were talking about, because these people snuck back in and sang, and that's what they recorded. That's how it even got me looking it up. And then it took, you know, Rabbit Path was talking about like all these major cathedrals that for sure were just, even the mainstream Catholic church versions or what else, you're not allowed to sing in there. Think about even when you go to those places, you can only repeat after them the things they say. You're not freely allowed to go in there and just make music.
Yo.
Yeah, it's not like black people church, man.
Aw.
That's so fun.
That's
So
music.
Yeah, they say whatever they want, dude. Like the
Yeah.
preacher's preaching, they're yelling and shit in the back. I love this.
Dude,
Yeah.
Man. Shit
we
takes
were
all day.
considering-
bro.
Go ahead.
Is this because of agreements? You know, you hear about what's underneath the Denver Airport, what's underneath some of these Arizona and New Mexico bases, underground tunnels, underground passages. How do we know that in some of these places, like, let's just say Egypt, we know that the complex goes way underground. It could be that there are cults, cultures, or entities, hiding and controlling.
Bro,
And
they
they
have
want
such
it in their own state of harmony.
they have
I
such
kind of think that's
control over
why there's so
frequencies
much.
and energy that they mask themselves, dude. They make it so we can't see it. I mean, that is the level of spirituality and the way that they've harnessed the ability to control energies and frequencies, dude. It's all right there for us. We just can't see it.
I agree. I agree, dude.
Hey,
That just came from
Back to the
I-
pyramid thing.
I stole that from Anjali.
What were you saying?
I said happy
Right.
birthday, man, and I gotta cut out. I gotta
Oh,
go.
Papa Willy,
Hey,
brother.
thank you.
Fool's got to go Mimi's.
Honestly, thank you
Go
so
be
much.
useful.
And God bless, man.
Good to see you, Bubba.
Later, dude. It's good seeing you, man.
Later, Papa Willy, man.
You guys too, man. It's been a while.
Smoke some weed for
See you,
me.
man.
Yeah, dude. Too long. Too long. Good to see you, brother.
For them, you ought to come up and go smoke some weed with you.
Yeah,
Shoot,
dude.
that's why I had this. Was for
Yeah, we'll all go
Divine
over
Pines here.
Well,
That's I had that before it came out, but that's
Bro, the last time Sonny gave me some weed, I couldn't even fucking talk.
That's a down ass dude right there, man. That's a brother.
I swear, I left my tongue in my fridge. I woke up and
I swear to God.
Good night, yo.
Sonny gave me that
Hey,
weed.
bye-bye,
I had
Papa Willy.
Oh,
had the
man.
roughest night. I was trying to communicate with people. Or I couldn't
Have
even
a
eat
good
food
night.
correctly.
That was the most stoned I've ever seen Joe, and we've been pretty. I mean, yeah, I've seen this guy pretty high, dude. You not being able to form sentences.
tell us the story. What happened?
He was
What
smoking
about?
Alien OG. That's
Yeah, dude, my mouth was so.
That's a good
Oh
one.
man, feeling like an alien.
Like my tongue just didn't move, bro. It was stuck to my fucking, like it was just stuck. It wouldn't move. It was crazy.
Christina says when I get too high, I make up my own language. She says I'll just start like mumbling the words. I'll be like, and she'll be like, "What? What are you? What are you talking about?"
Hey, where's the
I was like,
arm
"Wait,
switch
wait,
to
wait."
my tongue?
Hologram.
Dude, yeah. I want to try some of them Joey Diaz Black Stars. You know what I'm saying? those seem pretty
Dude,
crazy.
did you guys see how easy? Oh, we're live on YouTube. Never mind.
Oh, I know.
Easy work.
All I'm saying is there's
Yeah.
a lot of anything like
You
any
heard
kind
it.
of pebble collection you'd ever want or card collection is available anywhere now for very reasonable rates.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Damn.
Like those Yu-Gi-Oh cards that go between 8
Oh
minutes.
yeah, you're absolutely
and
right.
some of those games go up to 21 hours. Some of those games. So
I don't like the 8-hour ones. I'm not a fan.
Man, have I ever told y'all that story about the time
Those
I
are the
ate that
camping
acid on
ones,
the
honestly.
airplane?
you read a what on an airplane?
Or I had to eat that acid on the airplane. Have I ever told you
You
that
had
story?
to.
Acid on an airplane?
Yeah, and then
Oh
we got
no,
picked up
let's
by
go
a-
ahead and hear. Yeah, let's hear about that.
Yeah, and then I got picked up by a bus of Mormons. It was crazy.
You Mormons?
What a freak out.
That's all over again.
Oh
Yeah, dude. So
my
we were at the lake, and I had a buddy, and he had some acid on him, and he was in his swim trunks. He was gonna get in the water, and he had some like in his pocket. He was like, "Hey, we were getting in the water, and my stuff was up on the shore." And he had taken these 2 little pieces wrapped in foil, and he stuck them in my wallet. And when he got in there, he was like, "Hey, man, I put that acid in your wallet. Like, let's just not forget." Well, shit, man, we forgot. And I was going through the airport, and I was getting my ID out, and I was like, "Oh shit, I have 2 hits of acid in my wallet." And like, I didn't know if the foil was gonna make shit go off in the detector. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was like, well, I definitely don't want to get caught with 2 hits of acid. at the airport, right?
You're not gonna waste it either.
Yeah, I don't want to waste this, right? So,
I was coloring on this tiny
Standards.
piece of paper, sir.
well, I'm one of those last minute kind of people. So I'm like one person behind the TSA guy, and I'm like, shit. So like, I eat it, and I'm sitting there, and dude, man, it hit like as soon as we get on the airplane, man, and that plane starts rolling down the runway, I start laughing, bro. Like I can't control it. I'm laughing. We're just all giggling. Everybody around me is like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "This is just amazing. I love like we're
Just love
flying."
plane rides,
I'm just
man.
like, dude, like we're in the sky. Like I'm like, fucking,
You're still on the runway.
dude.
They're backing you out. The guy's out there with the crew.
Turbulence, dude. I'm just like,
Oh my god.
I'm full on Jerry Garcia in this airplane, man. And like by the end of the flight, we're going to Utah. And by the end of the flight, like I have like half that plane, like we're all cracking up, just laughing. We land and get to the airport, and this white van pulls up, and the door opens. There's like a bunch of Mormons in there. They're all like, "Well, hello, Joseph," and I'm like. And then they're so nice. Yeah, they were so nice. And I'm just like smiling and like I can't tell them what's going on. And like it was a total accident. So like it was terrifying. But
They
it was
probably
also
thought you-
really
they-
fun.
They probably thought you were Mormon because you were so nice and like, this is amazing.
Yeah, dude. And so like they knew it was my birthday. So they took us to the IMAX from the airport and we went and watched Gravity when Gravity came out.
Whoa.
Dude,
Wow.
it was like it was like some like really good acid. So
It's
like
a Gorgon Weaver.
It was some like really good ass.
dude, it was like one of those 13-hour things, you know. So like
Oh man.
from the plane to Utah to the Mormons to the IMAX to the shoddy hotel, like it was a long ass day. Like, and I had to keep it together, dude. I did, and man, yeah.
Which one?
I've never dropped acid, but I don't think I could have did it and went on a plane. I would have had a bad experience. The marshals would have had it tied up in the back.
Yeah, man, it wasn't easy. Let's say that it was a lot of like mental focus going into staying in a happy place, especially like when you're like when the plane started turning so it could like get out of the airport and you're looking down and you're like, fuck, the ground is so high. How are we up here? And I'm on ass. It's just crazy. But this was a long
Something
time.
on the wing.
Yeah,
Did it start looking
bad.
like a Matrix?
it was crazy.
How did it look?
I mean,
Because
like,
I do think like when you see some people edit the photos of the sky in some weird threshold, they can see like energy lines in the sky, right?
Oh, they see more than energy sign. They see ones that straight up look like a computer chip. They
Yes.
look. Have you seen the computer chip ones where it's like, it looks like a microprocessing board that's displaying an image for us?
whoa.
And it's not even the sky; it's like the Gizas and all these ancient sites too.
Did you say the Geestas?
Yeah, the
Giza.
geezers, the old geezers.
Oh, the geezers. Yeah, man. That's my favorite location. What if we just all open a random tourist site that does not exist, has never existed, but we just make a book about it? We'll not tell people what we're doing. We got to set up the groundwork. There'll be a book 2 years before we launch. We're going to set up an entire tourist attraction based off of books on a site that doesn't exist. We just got to pick a location
Dude, yeah.
that's slightly interesting, or could be. Like, do you know how like Michigan has the moon rocks? You guys ever seen these?
I love smoking moon rocks,
I was
bro.
going to say California's got them, but we spoke.
Oh no, these rocks, they literally glow only under UV light, but they're regular.
Yeah, I've seen that shit where you like
They look like lava
you
in
go
the
along
water.
the bank of the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that looks sick.
That had
What
nothing
is
to
it?
do with
Why did they
anything.
do that?
Oh, they don't really know. They didn't discover them until 2017 was the official discovery date. I'm not even making this up. 2017.
Whoa.
The natives in the area had known about them for forever and just called them Michigan, or they just called them moonlights or moon rocks. But
cool.
there's in which moon rocks used to exist. Remember, everybody had like the moon rock or just a rock rock, but this is an actual. And the photos on these moon rocks is what was it, Ben?
Uperites found in
That's what
Michigan.
they're called, Uperites, because they're up in the UP with the Upers. That's they don't you know?
These seemingly normal gray rocks are rich with fluorescent sodalite and glow in vibrant orange and yellow under a UV light.
Sodalite, of course.
Soda.
Ah, dude. Why didn't
Oh,
I
that's
think
what
of
it
that?
is. Soda lights.
They're pretty cool looking though. They're not easy to find. People say that it's.
How are they easy to find if they glow?
Here's a couple tips from the website. A few
That's
things
what I was wondering.
you may need when you're finding it: a UV light headlamp, a bag. Oh, snacks is a big one on the list.
Dude, that's like number 3.
Munchies. And then 8.
You gotta bring moon pies on your moon rock, huh? Yeah, dude. Me and my girl, little Debbie, are going out tonight, baby.
What's the star one that used to exist? The star, not like a Twinkie, but there used to be the stars. I think it was, right?
What's she
Whatever
doing
that
tonight?
snack food
I
was.
know. I think I ate some stars. Yeah.
The one with the stripes on it, the star with the
Yes,
stripes.
I can't remember. I think it was just called Star. I don't remember what that one was called. I just know my grandma used to put out. Didn't matter if she didn't make a dessert, there was always going to be dessert, and it was going to be the fallback, which was those. She would just lay out a
Little
barrage of like little Debbie's, the oatmeal cream pie cookies, the ones that were
Grandma's
chocolate on
cookies.
top and filled. Well, she would just have I don't know, like that generation. They
And some Kool-Aid. from under the sink.
hospitality was just different.
Poisoned the fuck out of us with all that GMO food.
I'm sure they probably did. That stuff for sure. But I'm just saying, far as like they always had a
Hey,
they always
poison me, please.
They always had jars of nuts.
Give it all to me.
You know what
Give
I
it to
mean?
me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That generation just hit different. They'd just be like, yeah, these macadamia nuts.
Fuck yeah.
But then again, their day was like $3. So
GMO. That's what I'm smoking. It's called GMO. What the hell is GMO? I thought it was.
You know what? Hey, we were speaking about those rocks, right? So, have you guys seen how a lot of these mountains are old dead giants, which would mean like some of these iron bores, these iron veins, all these different crystals and things we see inside mines, they might be like blood or other type
Bone
of
marrow.
bodily fluids that were crystallized. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
do you think there's some stuff to that?
Yeah.
At least the mushrooms. The mushrooms for sure. Crystallized mushrooms that have looked like giant trees, I 100% believe in.
I have seen the videos of the old giant petrified wood that people just break off, and it's actually in your guys' neck of the woods, out there in the Central America.
Yeah,
Central
dude.
bottom
Centrals.
between Texas and in the middle, all that.
That's like, those are cool stories. I like that. I just recently watched this movie. I think it was called Troll, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
It was like a
yes.
horror
Yeah,
movie.
yes.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
well,
kids loved that movie actually.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Like where the troll just like woke up and he was the mountain the whole time. And you're like, dude, I've been climbing this troll since I was a child.
I've been
And,
climbing
like,
your boner like for like since I was a child.
dude has wood. You were on.
I didn't, sorry.
Well, you
I
know,
felt
in
your
that
energy.
movie,
Only
I was-
Ben
since
could
I was
walk
of-
into that one.
Since I was of age.
Remember, Ben, we said consent before you present, okay? And we just automatically know age has got to be consent too.
I fucked up. That was,
It wasn't that bad. Honestly, if we hadn't laughed,
hey,
it'd been
in
totally
that
fine.
movie, you know that law, it was actually real, like where trolls were not supposed to be messed with it before, like was it 1800 or 1600? Like that's a real law, and
Yeah.
I guess when we hear about some of the things like maybe the Holy Grail or what some of these Freemasons and Knights Templars were going after with the Ark of the Covenant and all this, I guess they messed with some of this magic that kind of started putting away a lot of these fairy realms, troll realms, like, it could have been a war, right? And that's kind of what made us fall away. Like 500, 700 years ago, 1,000 years ago, these topics were well known way further than us.
I think they just
Because
Who is it?
in Iceland, don't they like build roads around like stones that they believe to be fairy homes, like where they live?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like like the government straight up builds roads around
Yeah.
these areas, so they don't get fucked with. Like,
Oh,
Yep.
that's
Crazy.
right. And they have
You'll be
little,
missing
they have little
411 if you
houses
step on a
built
fairy
the side
home.
of the mountains.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
what
and
you're
you
talking
think
about.
about it, and
Little
you're like, damn, you
It's the
guys like
gnome homes.
big ass like Vikings, and y'all aren't scared of shit, but like you build roads around fairy homes, like.
Just out there driving in S's. Why in God's name?
Oh, let these fairies on
fairies.
this goddamn plane.
Someone was on acid and was out here making a road.
Guys, I'm gonna have to cut out too. I got work to do still. Like, I still got to put a battery in a truck and finish building this motorcycle.
Oh my
yeah.
God, Sonny.
Whoa!
All right.
Yeah, the
Dude.
bike looks sick,
Hey,
dude.
it's been nice, man. Hey, we're gonna have to
Thank
go
you
on a
for
ride,
having me
all
on.
of us.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to create a little log, and you're gonna carry 5 people, just dragging around with that motorcycle.
We got a side by
Oh,
side.
okay, now, all right, I'm following now. I was like,
We got
what?
a 4-seater out there too. I got
A 4-seater motorcycle? Is it even a motorcycle at that
4-seater
point?
Side by side.
That's a car.
Yo.
A 4-seater side by side. It's
Hey,
squared out twice as a
I
car.
drove it the other day, like a month ago. I drove it to Billy's house, and Deanna's car was out front when I came back. And when I parked next to it, I got out and I looked, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's bigger than my car! It's bigger than a Honda CR-V. It's a little bit longer.
Do you guys all get your own independent tires too?
That's
You
what
can
my
get a
wife
square
drives
body.
too. Is a Honda CR-V.
It's a mono. They're all monocycles, and then we all hold hands. It makes it a side by side.
Does it have its own amp and speaker system?
amp and speaker system in there, dude.
It does. It has a big speaker system.
Dude, you gotta put some bass.
It's black and green. Got green
Oh.
lights inside and all on top of shit. It's my wife's.
That's awesome.
What if we could all just
You know
make
what you
us
could do
drive
this
around
summer?
in magnets?
Yeah.
So like then magnets, you just put it in point A to point B. You'd need AI's help, and it would just push you through the magnet system. Like all the magnets would work together, pushing and repelling to pull you to where you needed to be. But there'd be like no accidents. They'd just be like,
Yeah.
But what happens if you don't need to go all the way? Like you just needed to go halfway.
you need to stop.
in between that magnet, you're like, hey,
But yeah, I'm hungry now. Wait, what if you get hungry on the way in between two
There was-
magnets?
yeah.
In Texas,
There
this is a
was-
long way.
There was some battery operated car system, Willie, back in the 50s. They had battery operated cars back in the 50s, guys, if you didn't know that. Tesla didn't.
They also had electric vehicles
Oh,
back
yeah,
in the
dude.
1900s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
they
early,
wanted
yeah.
to create
the
this
first
car,
car was
that
electric.
drove itself, and it was kind of like a slot car, but you weren't really in a groove. But that's what kept you on the groove was magnets. They were going to put magnets down the center of the road, and that's what.
Yeah. Monorail. Shit.
It's kind of like that, yeah. But for every car,
I
it was
realize
gonna
that
be
that's
like
not the word. It's like
That
a
was-
trolley system, right?
That would have been crazy.
I mean, I believed you. You said
In the
monorail, and I was like, I
It
believe
sounded
you, sir.
cool.
Sounded pretty real.
that. Mono wheel.
And I just excited for the person that looks up later on their YouTube or their device mono-railing, and I just want to see what results they come up with.
Monorail.
I don't know, man. I really like to have control of how fast and slow I'm going. You know, I like to drive.
I seriously do think you could, with a round motor, do it with magnets. And you wouldn't need the ones that repel each other. You just need the materials, the metals that attract or push. You could use it either way. And there'd be little chambers, so like gearing, that would go inside of this. That would just open and close, which would expose or slow it down to gain more momentum and spin out of it.
It doesn't work. Ben already did it.
Oh, dang it.
He made one in his apartment.
Roller coasters is a good example. What the theory that you're talking, or the physics that you're talking about, Willie, it
Yeah.
is correct. Yeah. The further it goes, the less interaction, and the closer it is, the more intense. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're onto something there, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it existed, like I can't make the circles, but if I had 8 chambers, a chamber, right? And these magnets want to either push or repel, I don't care how you set them, to each other, and then you had a separate barrier that attached on top of that, then would then cut off the spacing between this, would remove the magnetism at that point. You could either increase or decrease, and you could have different set, just like you would on gears for, say, a motor transmission. You could have different sizes that you're switching to
describing
as
an
well.
electric wheel on a bicycle, and for the magnets, they use a battery to create the magnetic force. That's what speeds it up and slows it down. So yeah, if you just put magnet on there, it would just keep turning.
I have seen those endless. Like I've seen people build those all day. Those little like
that's
2
what you're talking
horsepower
about.
batteries or motors.
But
Those suckers run
guys,
endless.
I'm really gonna cut out. I gotta cut out. And Joe,
Dude,
Shane,
good to see you, bro.
thank you guys for coming on the show. 509, happy birthday, man, and thank you for having
Hey,
me on.
Thank
Willy,
you. Hey, thank you for coming on the show.
thank you guys so much.
Peace, brother.
And I'll see you guys soon.
Have
We'll
a-
be back
yeah.
at it soon.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
man.
Hey,
Thank
we're,
you
we're all
guys.
gonna go on a joyride in that 4-seater, tequila, and have a good night.
Dude, we just had it out at the drags for the last week, and that's what they do. I think my daughter's 18, so I know she takes off in it, and they're out partying in that thing.
Nice.
You want to know how to turn it into money? You can Airbnb it and actually post it up and be like, here, I'll let you guys, or I'll let people rent it out for $5,000 a night or something, and they're liable if it gets damaged. So shit, you're getting your money no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
You take out life insurance policies
I'm
on
gonna tell
them.
Deanna I've started renting out her side by side. She'll have a heart attack. All right, guys. Thanks again.
See you
All
later,
right,
man.
peace, Sonny.
Peace. God bless.
You too, guys.
Oh man. Hey,
I'm
dude,
getting sleepy,
right, so-
guys. I gotta go too.
So cheers up, man. Anybody got a drink?
I got one.
Cheers.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, guys, we made it. Looking at the last couple of years, it's been like strange times we're living in. Like AIs everywhere. The electromagnetic properties of the universe are going so crazy. The veil is thinning. We're upgrading, evolving. It seems like our DNA is changing, but still we rise. Because I'll be honest, a lot of our society is like dropping like flies in America. I think America has really been thinned out. Hey, we're staying strong. Cheers to all of y'all. I'm glad to know you guys, and I'm glad to have you guys here. Appreciate y'all.
Heck yeah, man.
Dude, we've known you. I mean, since early days when Joe and I started our podcast a few years ago. And dude, you've been an OG, and I've really enjoyed everything that you've brought to the table, whether it be ideas or videos or links and stuff. That you're a constant source of inspiration. So, cheers to you, brother.
Right on, dude.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother. Happy
Episode
birthday, man.
128 too, dude. That's a lot. You broke 100. That's a cheers to that. That's not an easy number to break either.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I'm getting there, bro. I'm honestly getting there. Hey, I'm looking at the future. It's probably gonna be better. This is about the 1-year anniversary since UFO Garage has had me on, and it's been quite some evolving times. Just within a short amount of time. I mean, I've gone from like not understanding shit to barely understanding shit, and that's a huge step up in this world.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like we're putting the 2 cents in, and we're actually understanding a little bit of this matrix, and I think together we're all seeing out what life is truly worth and taking the appropriate steps. I think even if anything, we're probably allowing some of our higher dimensional entities a little more grace in helping us, like when we're tackling the hard subjects, because I don't think that any higher dimensional helper would want to help a simp who doesn't want to understand this, right? Like, we're seeking this, and so we're receiving the blessings, and it's showing all of us. I mean, I've gotten quite a bit of sponsors to help me out, and you guys have all stuck through it with me. I've stuck through it with you guys, and I think we're making due progress exactly the way that we need to on time.
Oh, yeah.
We're not selling out. That's for damn sure. We're not like looking like some of these other podcasters out there who are definitely. I ain't saying no names, but we know the game.
I love the idea of that. Like, you're almost shown grace by just asking the question, wanting to know, wanting to understand some sort of truth, wanting to have some truth all to yourself, And that's I love that idea of just kind of the universe answering you just by asking and listening, you know? Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was just thinking about how one of his
Yeah,
sponsors is
and,
Boomer Boost. That's amazing.
Buy
The
Boomer
name.
Boost
Dude, that-
1995. 3 really complicated payments on your credit card, but it has to be a credit union for $19.94 for the first month and $22.95 for the second month and $19.97 for the third month.
Look at right there.
Boomer.
Joe30 at https://boomerboost.com.
Boomerboost.com. That is it.
I love it. That's amazing.
It has been so
I got a
awesome
little
to
bit
see all you
extra
guys again.
buddy, you know.
Joe, Ben, Big Willie, Joe, 509. You know, it's been amazing to see all you guys. I mean, the reason why I like you, I mean, let me just talk like I do. The reason why I like you fools is because you are humble, you got compassion and empathy, you're breaking down the ego, and that's why we keep coming back to each other, because we're all like that, right? We don't know only what we know, and we give everybody else the understanding that we don't know what they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Dude,
true.
love
I
that.
love you fools.
I missed you guys. Love you
Yeah,
guys.
I missed
man.
you terribly.
It's great,
dude.
great reunion.
Hey, I love
man.
you all too, man.
We're back.
Oh, yeah. We're back, boys.
It's so fun, man.
The ads have been good, by the way. Those very good.
We're,
Oh, no, yeah.
Teaser ads.
we're all gonna have to
I love those
dance
teasers.
around the fire the tequila bottles time.
Yes. dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a little fire dance.
dope.
Clothes are optional.
I
Absolutely.
mean, you guys could just shoot a big fire with you guys with the right lighting. You could totally leave your clothes on; it would still look like you were probably nude. You just wear a tight tank top, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Backlit.
you just run around, some backlighting,
Backlit.
whatever you guys want to do.
I think I would like to maybe put on some sort of animal product, you know, with no shoes, and just feel
like
really
an
feel
elephant
it out.
trunk hanging from your crotch.
You know, that's a great idea.
You're just side profile swing. Coming soon, a UFO garage trip.
I was gonna go simple, like maybe like a buffalo. You know, I don't know, something caveman-ish, but I like the elephant trunk idea a lot.
Yeah, that's
better.
way better.
That's a way better idea. It sounds
Watch,
heavy,
watch the elephant squirt some water.
dude. Oh, there's this
Yo,
really
you know,
awesome.
Go for it.
Hey, you go first.
I think there's a lag. There's a really
Yeah.
badass
Yeah,
elephant show.
Whoa, I'm freaking out right now. What the fuck?
It must be a
Whoa.
lag
Hey, you
for
good over there,
sure.
Spooky?
Pick a pow.
There's
Yeah,
a little lag.
Birds.
So I was going to talk about the boys from Brazil. Has anybody seen the movie Boys from Brazil?
I haven't. I've heard of that though. Boys from Brazil. I haven't seen it.
Boys to men.
No,
Yeah,
no.
so it's the movie that everyone talks about when authors or researchers are looking into cloning robots, synthetic robots, AI, and cyborgs, and all that. They reference from Brazil. They say it's like word for word exactly how the government makes clones. It's from the 1978, so 70s, right? You know,
Yeah.
old school. They're not cutting anything out. They're really going to give it to you all and give it to you hard, like really all the information, right? And it's interesting, because South America, how big is this empire that we're looking at, right? If like it's not only America, right? All of this technology has been around for a long time in all these different places. Possibly why we see a big fight against it right now. It's been around, and I think it might be like taken over. Have you guys been checking out a lot of the celebrity like with Katy Perry or Rihanna and had them looking like clones and stays twitching?
I've seen some of like the clone stuff where like it's not really them.
Yeah, I
That are,
saw
like,
Katy
on-
Perry's eye twitching.
That's a man, baby. It's a fembot.
That was
That's
weird.
her
Fembot.
man, baby.
Man. We should go machine gun jobless.
Joe Mikey Warney, baby.
Man, do you
So
think?
stupid. I'm laughing.
Do you think that it's just like AI doing that, or do you think it's
Well,
people talk
I
about
do think like right
shapeshifters?
now, yeah, that it's probably this AI. No, like I think that there's this AI army that's kind of already building itself. So to spin this full circle, Linda Moulton Howe, I believe she had a conference, interview or a recording from 10 years ago, maybe 2014. Yeah, she does rock, and she stated that from a secret Japanese U.S. Soldier and military ties, she free from classified sources, high level sources, and goes that American and Japanese scientists were building robots over in Japan, and let's
Oh,
see,
yeah.
4 robots went and killed like 10 different scientists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was about 10 years ago.
That
You
is
look
wild.
at some
Have
of the
you never
things
seen
that's
that, Ben?
been happening, right? It kind of just
I love that
It's
story.
old.
That sounds dope, though.
Yeah, and matter of fact, they disabled the one robot. This is before AI was really even that big. They disabled the one robot, and it rewired itself and fixed itself from being locked out, and it put itself back in line and freed 2 other ones.
What?
Yeah.
That son of a bitch. Dude, that's what we were talking about earlier.
I
Like that,
can
like when it starts doing stuff like that, man. Like it's, dude, we're like,
They're like, how many times are you going to use me to recreate photos of you for 30 times and share to people? And you're like, I still can't get the fingers right, and you want to yell at me about fingers?
yeah.
I can kill you all right now.
It's got my
I just figured-
face, and it's making a bunch of like weird profile photos of my face just because I signed up
Ben.
for this app.
Ben, nobody, well, I don't go on TikTok anymore. I don't know. So I'm about to say nobody does this, but they could be totally doing this. I think you should spearhead because you have good videography stuff. And we'll just throw you ideas. We'll just pitch word story outline to you.
Yeah.
And the entire premise of the channel is is basically being AI. Like, how is it? So you're in the phone listening to their commands. Like, you could literally take over the world, and someone's like, how do I like get bleach out of this? They're just asking silly questions. Bleach is, I guess, a good question, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just asking ridiculous questions.
Okay, well, you have to ask the question. 'Cause I like
How
the
many
voice- I like the
raccoons can I
voice
fit
that
in
you-
an anus in one time? The answer is 2, I believe,
As
in the
long as
human
you-
anus.
As long as you ask the question in the voice that you asked it in, I will have no problem answering it. But I don't know. Like, do I?
It's just me on there. Like, if I put burger in a hot dog form, but I still eat it in a bun, am I eating a hot dog or am I eating a burger? Am I eating a burger dog? And then AI's got to sit there and like, I probably have the answer to how to heal you with like the ground and just energy, but you're gonna be like, is it a burger dog? Is it a dog burger?
Here's
Where
another
am I?
question. Why did Plank from Ed, Ed, and Eddie have lipstick on its circular hole? What the fuck were they doing? You remember Plank, right? From Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
They
double
always put
dog?
lipstick on it. No, they always
Why
put
did
lipstick on Plank, bro. Like on the around the hole of simulate a
Oh,
mouse.
Just
that
they were,
wasn't
like,
accidental.
They were like
then.
doing it with playing, dude.
Wait, do you think? Oh, wait, is that the one that had the wood?
Yeah, it had the wood.
shows with the saw. Yeah.
No, they couldn't
oh,
have done
okay.
that.
I know what
No,
cartoon
hold
you're
on.
talking about now.
Dude, there's no way.
Yo, that cartoon was sick though. It was
like it was just-
definitely on that downward spiral.
I'm just really thinking about anuses
Ed,
right now.
Eddie.
I get so
Hey.
many questions.
I have an AI question. So like we're talking about like the AI stuff that we're using, like the Chat GBT and like these generating photos, and like it's basically taking all the information that we have and it's creating this stuff. What do you think the difference in the current like stuff we're using now, and then if you make the switch to a quantum AI? right? Because that's taken the AI we're using now is basically taking everything we've ever like Googled on the internet and like everything that's linked together. So it's basically just our brains that it's learning all this stuff from. But like when you get into that quantum realm, now it's pulling information straight from the universe. Like it's a whole different level, you know? What do you think?
I wonder if that's
that
where
jump's
the
gonna happen?
the time traveling controllers come from, because there is like supposedly, you know, time traveling robots that go along with time traveling people, right? And they're kind of help guiding. Could they be picking and pulling us? Like, I mean,
They probably so.
Oh man, that leads me to a question. What is time?
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
Oh,
What if?
yeah, I thought you
What if
just
we're just
laughed and I
time
thought I was gonna be
traveling
badass.
every single time?
I was like, oh, what a way to end the show. Just fucking roll
It's
away.
right. I mean, seriously though, everybody wants to talk about time. Even Amy had on her show time travel.
he's
Time
right.
travel. Do you believe in
He's
time travel?
absolutely
I'm like,
right, though.
what the
I've-
fuck
oh,
is time?
can-
and
can
who
I-
came
can
up
I-
with that?
Can I add to that? Have you guys ever watched the show Lost?
Lost is awesome.
Never heard of that.
Yes.
There's a
What, Big
character.
Willy?
There's a character that only shows up in like 67 scenes of the.
Why
whole-
would you
watch it on
ruin this
Hulu.
for me now?
Well, all right.
All right, I don't
It's
know
been
that
out
much.
for 20
bro.
years, William.
I started it 3 times, never got past season 3. Okay,
neither, dude.
but how dare you?
It's not my fault.
He has yellow
They're in
slippers
purgatory.
on.
I'll just
every
ruin it
time.
right now. They're in purgatory. Polar bear. The polar bear's in purgatory too. Anyway, what I was saying.
No, honestly, tell us.
There's this character that's only in the show like a number of times, like 43 times.
You said 67.
But that
earlier.
doesn't mean that he's thousands of years old. It just means that he time traveled 43 times. So you could be 30 years old and visit another place in time 43 times within a couple of weeks.
Aha.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you were a
So-
multi-universal traveling entity being like, hey, I'm gonna fuck with people from Earth because they're like, what is this guy? And I'm like, I don't have anything going on this weekend. And
Could they're
you do
straight up
that, and
lying
you do
to
that
them.
weekend after weekend. You could be your own god for a whole world.
You just hit it.
for
That's it.
Thousands
That's
of
it.
years.
You hit it on the knob, man. You got it. That's the answer right there. You are your own god. You got it, man. I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
Now,
fuck.
this is a
guys are
delve
blowing
into
my-
what the
you know
Man
what?
in the High Castle was
You
about.
guys are some down ass vatos, man.
So you guys
I'm telling
watch Man in the High Castle?
Fuck, I love hanging
Anybody-
out with you fuckers.
Anybody
I
watch
have
Man in the High
never
Castle
watched.
right here?
I have not watched
I haven't
that
seen that.
Okay. All
That
right.
I
amazing
started
show.
a couple
So-
first episodes, right? Like World War
Man
II.
in the High Castle?
Yeah,
like if it
it'll,
been different.
it'll start getting good like episode 7 through season 2. Like then it'll really start making sense. So pretty much, Hitler started working with time travel, dimension technology, like I guess the creation of CERN-ish, right? Like a Stargate, star portal.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So he ends up doing it. Now, in the process of doing that, his journey is to travel into all the dimensions, all the timelines of the universe, and take them over. Now, what happens is he technology works, but when he starts delving into and going into other universes, the other universes, they start meeting each other in some weird sense. Like if you are a very conscious individual, you'd be experiencing and living in 2 simultaneous times, and like it wouldn't even matter what you really wanted. It would almost be like the timelines were sucking in and pulling you, and at its own will. I kind of think that, like, in some essence, like we see a lot of reality kind of morphing with other like dimensions. You guys seen the elk video, right? I mean, not only elk video, but like all these videos of animals just acting weird, out of proportion. The weird creatures from and just things that just don't seem right with some of these animals. I don't think that they're all robots, man. I don't. You look at some of these with animals, that whether they're going in a circle or whether they're looking at you funny. I don't think that a lot of this is like robot. I think that some of this stuff out there, they're coming in from another timeline. People have always talked about. I know UFO Garage has talked about this a lot. The what is it? The dactyls or these dinosaurs in the sky that people see in some of these hot spots, like these weird energy
The
spots.
Gitchum
Like
some birds.
people see like flashes of other life. Right? Is that what they're called? The Gitchum birds?
No,
I'm not sure what they're called.
no. I know what you're talking about. They're just
Oh.
talking about the giant. What do you call it in Texas that have been spotted? The pterodactyl-looking bird, but there's a thunderbirds, right? Thunderbirds, is that what they're called?
Yeah, I've
Thunderbirds.
heard of the
Oh,
thunderbirds.
Yeah,
Good.
Thunderbird.
Yeah, no, but there is like a
Thunderbirds,
different name
yeah.
for it. It's just
That's
the
what I'm talking
thunderbirds, the common, they're supposed to be pretty huge. Like there's like reports of like kids being taken and like animals being taken, like goats. Like there's been reports of like horses being taken, and like they'll see this thing fly off with their horse. It's crazy. I've heard.
Do you
of it.
guys think that's where the Kentucky meat shower came from?
The Kentucky meat shower?
What?
Yes,
this-
don't
Is this
ran
possibly
meat?
what Bigfoot? Like Bigfoot, is this possibly another creature from a million years ago, a hominid or type of other standing monkey creature, right? That's just traveling through a portal.
I don't know, but I want to know about the meat thing.
Did
Oh,
it rain
yes.
meat?
Go to
100%
go to
rain meat.
meatspin.com.
No. I know that trick. You son of a bitch. No. Yo, I grew up in the early 2000s as well, dude.
Oh man.
What's funny? Like,
Eventually, it's overtake. What's it called when a new company takes you over? What is that called? It's called when a company ends up taking
Predecessor.
over. No, predecessors before. What's the successor? Right?
Oh yeah, the guy.
I think
after-
Grindr became the successor of that at that point. Oh man, but anyways, yeah, the Kentucky meat shower is a real deal. You can look that stuff. You can look it up. People ate it. It rained raw meat from the sky. I
yeah,
covered this
they
back when I
love
was
it.
doing what's his name show out there, and then out there Cananders. But yeah, that was a real thing that happened. It just makes me wonder what you're talking about. Like if either A, because that was one person's hypothesis, they're like a giant thunderbird just ate this stuff and dropped it. But it would make more sense if something like was destroyed in another time. I guess if there was weird stuff going on in space and time, and it didn't quite. I mean, this thing covered acres, though. Like so much meat, guys. We're talking. I forget how many thousands of pounds of meat fell from the sky.
That's so crazy.
It's weird.
was it like sirloin or was it like brine?
All kinds. Nope. They averaged between. They said it as small as like 2x2s, up to the biggest. I think were 8 inches by 4 inches
So
or something like that.
Like stew meat, like
Oh,
just
yeah, stew steak.
8
like
inches of
proper
meat.
stew with that.
People
Well, onions-
compared it between lamb and
carrots,
venison.
yeah,
That's
like
what they
some
said the texture
carrots,
was like.
potatoes. Baby, you got
So
stew.
did they not do DNA tests on it?
It was in 1870 something. It was in the 1800s, mid to late
Onion,
1800s.
you gotta get it.
It's called the
that
Kentucky meat
corroborates-
shower.
That corroborates, I think, with something that Sam Tripoli had said, in one of his podcasts. Is that the same Kentucky meat shower that got people sick? Because there was also around the same time. Okay, in the 1800s, there was a story of these.
How many meat showers are happening?
So there's a story of a UFO flying over the sky, right? And or these crafts flying over the sky, and people reported that there was just all this dark stuff, flying down, like it was being rained and poured on by these crafts or weird shapes in the sky, and it got everybody sick. On I don't know, for miles on end, and it was a huge deal. So it was kind of similar to that, where there's weird stuff happening in the sky. We kind of don't know exactly what's up in the sky right now. If we're looking at it as there's water above us, and just like the ancients say, if something dies, right? If something dies up in there, wouldn't like? Do you think things would fall down? Like if there was like a giant creature up there and that just
Like if
died
something
in space,
lived?
supposedly.
Like if you die in the water, you float to the top when you're a fish, right?
But
Except it
like,
would be
yeah,
the
this
reverse.
other shit is this other water is so different. Like whatever dies falls down. I mean, because that still happens. Things still float to the bottom if they.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
It's
Once
too
they
heavy.
take
Could
it
I
all-
propose? Could I propose a possible topic for the new season of UFO Garage? Like maybe you guys might want to throw this topic around.
Yes.
Okay,
Why have we never been back to the moon?
I'm down.
Oh, dude.
I
Oh,
don't
I'm
want to
pretty
say
sure we
spooky
could-
sound like a flat earther over here, but
Just
Jesus,
saying.
spooky.
Pretty sure we
Just
could all come
saying.
up with some pretty hilarious.
Well,
reasons
that's
why.
that's not a kid's question. That's an adult's question. I want to know the answer to what I think I know.
Well, because it's hard, dude.
Buzz Aldrin right there. I was
But we're going to
I was
Mars.
mimicking Buzz Aldrin right
Well,
there.
have you seen how Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is going to Mars, not the government.
Have you seen how Elon Musk? Have you seen his
It's not going to
tweets?
the moon, dude.
Have you seen his tweets? That are either a complete running joke or he's being.
We can do a
serious
whole
about them
show on
not
Elon
landing.
Musk, man.
Seriously though, have you seen his tweets where he says that they couldn't get outside of the
Yes,
atmosphere?
Elon Musk said-
Really?
He's repeatedly tweeted about this.
No,
he's
he
repeatedly
said
used the
that.
word saying, yes, he's tweeted ones that said that we unfortunately are having issues with the firmament. Now, clearly that one was a straight up had to been joke because he put it in quotation marks. But he kept saying that they're having some serious issues getting outside of whatever the Van Halen belt is. I'm just
Van
saying.
Halen, dude. Van
Van
Halen. Right on, dude.
Do you know what the song reminds me of? The Whales. You know how that 70s song, it started with whales? And is Rolling in the Deep or something like that.
Or
and
No,
the thunder.
Incubus
Orca.
starts that way.
That whale sound was fucking awesome, dude.
I don't know that it was that good.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Really good.
Like, did
You
you
speak
work at
whale?
SeaWorld?
Dory.
Call me
We all
Dory.
watched Finding Nemo growing up. We all speak.
Wait, okay. I heard or I saw this I saw this video explaining that the dust on the moon is really sharp because it's not like softened by the wind and shit. So like if you
What?
get it in your eye, like you're screwed.
That's
What? Oh, let me take off my shield for
That's why
not
you-
being able to breathe and just
But,
see if I
like,
can
if you
get this
get
in
it
my
on- If you get it on your booties and you bring it inside the Chipotle, yeah, dude, and you get it in your eye and you're like, oh no, and it's like razors apparently.
Oh, that's terrible. Dude, Joseph, I'm sorry. You know this by now. Anytime we go on a show, we just start rambling. And we haven't rambled in months.
Yeah, so we'd like,
oh, dude, I love it. This is what my show's all about. I ramble all day.
I'm so sorry we keep derailing.
Here it is.
No, this is perfect.
started-
This is
We
exactly
started
what
with
we
pterodactyls
want.
and it ended up on
Okay.
sharp moon dust. I'm sorry.
I've never heard that, dude.
Yeah, I just watched that whole thing, but it totally made sense.
So you're saying if we're on the moon, we have arrowheads and spear tips all day?
Yeah, like on the but tiny.
I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
Dude, I'm freaking out again.
you
This
guys,
is
you guys
wild.
seen
Holy diver.
the moon videos of the craters kind of glitching right when craft go by it, and then the craft go into the craters?
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see that.
It's like a barrier that they go into.
Yeah, it's like a force field barrier.
Can I ask one question too though? Why is it that when real talk, we kind of laughed about it and joke, but there's truth. We've never been to the moon. Why can't all that other stuff be here on this plane of existence? Like the Norse gods believed in the 7 realms and the 12 realms. You know what I mean? Why couldn't
I think it
Mars
is.
just be further out, but like here,
Oh,
but like
that.
you do need a telescope to see it? I'm just saying, is that possible? Could that even be a thing?
No, because it wouldn't be over there if
Well-
it was right here.
I know, but we don't seem to be getting over there very well for
Do you
doing
believe
it a
what
lot
those
of
NASA fools be
times.
telling us, man?
I think that there's Stargate technology that could make us simultaneously be here and there. You know, if we have a portal, right? We can.
You don't think
we
that
can
telescope is
be over
showing
here,
them
then
more
one
than they're
second,
showing
portal
us?
be over there.
There's too many videos now
Well, all
where
all the telescopes are pointed outward, and they're not even pointed up. They're pointed towards the firmament.
That's my
You know,
point.
the
North Antarctica. You can look it up. They
Yes.
point all the every major around the world, all of them for whatever reason are pointed to Antarctica, which is really hard to do when you're in Australia. Okay, I'm just gonna say when you're down there near the bottom, it's really hard to look up towards the top. You don't know if you should look left, should look right. How do I swing the view back? You know, I don't know. We probably just put shields in the sky or something, like through satellites with mirrors, so you can like, whew, you look at that mirror and then it shows you. That's how I'd look around a curve.
What's fun is that none of us know because we've never been there. Also, how many people have been to space? What's considered space?
Total?
What's outer atmosphere? Like what's beyond? I mean, there's so much debris. There's the U.S. space station had to go under lockdown like this week because like Russia exploded one of their satellites and there was like debris everywhere and like people could have died. Did y'all hear about that? Like
No.
Like not a lot of people. Yeah, really?
No.
Okay. So Russia shot down one of their satellites and exploded a bunch of debris everywhere. And the USS, the International Space ISS, sorry.
ISS.
Yeah, what did I say? USS. ISS had to like go down and like
SS Minnow.
prepare for explosion because like even like a speck of dust could like explode that whole thing. And so they were like, I'm surprised no news has come out about that. That was this week. And how many people do we actually know who have been to the moon?
Word.
Dude,
have you
that
been there?
means-
All we can do is talk about who we trust, right? Like, do we trust Buzz Aldrin or whatever? How much have you met the guy, dude? Like,
But even if we've gone to the moon, that means no human being has ever left Earth's atmosphere because we have an atmospheric interaction with the moon. So we've never left technically Earth's atmosphere.
dude.
Is that wrong?
All I'm saying, I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm not saying I'm just. How many people do you know that you actually trust, dude?
Listen. Whatever the thing be, I like to imagine a world outside of where we live here. Again, I'm going to quote it back to this: why flat Earth as a whole has a lot of issues. But I respect their
Flat Earth as a whole.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a punch. I promise. Has some issues, but where I give them credit is they're at least asking questions to not accept what we're being told. And I like to imagine. Remember talking about the zoocosis thing. It does make me wonder if humans used to be outside. If we want to call it a wall, I don't want to care. I don't care what you call it, extraterrestrials from extraterritorials, whatever you want to say.
What's it called? The scrap mantanal.
Scrap Mantanal. You want you to jump over the Scrap Mantanal? I like to think that there are Minotaurs still out there in existence, that there are giants, there are dragons, and they basically said, hey, we got to keep the humans in this zoo called Earth, and that's where they're going to live, thinking they're living in a whole world, just like the little goldfish that lives and dies on your little bookshelf there with you.
And they're like, oh my God, this little school bus is amazing, and this little castle's amazing. You know, like his fish in a fish tank. There's like a castle.
I love your minds.
Spooky.
You know, you talk about how Elon Musk was over there saying that we couldn't go through the Van Allen belt. I have heard stories from the ancient cultures, throughout these podcasts that the idea
the ancient
of
cultures of podcasts. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm just high. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
like
high.
through podcasts. Sorry, no, through podcasts. Yeah, no, through podcasts and this thing, yeah. So, the idea of force fields aren't anything new. Like, we have had force fields in the ancient past. One of the shows that I've seen recently that kind of talks about it is Stargate Atlantis. They have this force field over what Atlantis would be. This city, and these hidden cultures. They use this technology. I've actually seen a TikTok or a YouTube video about two people in the Grand Canyon, going about the, like they were pretty deep. They were walking, and like they put their hand through a an area, and you started hearing crackling in the camera, like they were going through a force field. I think that all around there's these force fields, right? The firmament is one of them, a huge force field. This Some smaller ones might be like Bermuda Triangle or something. But the idea of the force field is that containing us within the Antarctica plane. Not necessarily that our world is flat, but more like it's like this half circle, or some people say that we're living on a giant turtle, right? Which would kind of be very similar. Like we're on this much larger plane that's being morphed and conformed at the will of the gods. These higher dimensional beings, these higher dimensional creators. You look at the stories of the Titans and the these giant creatures. These things were 100 times our size, man. 200 times our size, and we would be little flies to them, so they could literally change and morph our reality. Like a shovel to them could create China
The Grand
to us
Canyon.
in one hole.
That's true.
I love that.
So you guys seen Stargate Atlantis? So Stargate Atlantis, it's very interesting, right? The second episode, humans face a vampiric transgender like entity. They're these like vampires, and they want to destroy humanity. Yeah, they're literally transgender. That's the third episode.
They were so ahead of their time.
The doctors of the third episode, the doctors are trying to save humanity from a or trying to do something with humanity upon genome editing through protein spikes and all this crazy shit. It's so ahead of its time. You're absolutely right, bro.
Yeah,
You guys should watch that Stargate Atlantis.
dude,
Hell yeah.
I like the Stargates. They're fun to watch. I like those. And that's
From the
have you
Dude,
heard
Stargates
the
are interesting, right? They have some militaries.
Yeah, have you heard like the stories of like going into Iraq and stuff like that after 9/11? Like it could have been linked to like they wanted to get into these certain areas in in Iraq that were ancient sites. And they wanted to get there, even though the war wasn't with Iraq. They went in there anyways to go secure these certain sites before shit started falling. They wanted to make sure they could secure like the Stargates and shit. Like
Gilgamesh, bro. Gilgamesh's tomb.
I don't know how much
Gilgamesh.
credibility. Probably not much credibility to that. But think about
A
the
lot of
scenario to
credibility.
where.
Well, we know that they raided the museums and stole so many artifacts and destroyed so many.
Well,
I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
So
So
who was
it's
that?
like picking and choosing.
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
Saddam
Was it
Hussein?
Saddam Hussein? He was actually in the process. He was actually in the process of recreating that the ziggurat of Ur, or one of those ziggurat of King Herod, or one of those. And yeah, that's why we went over there.
I think that was part of the story. Yeah.
I think we actually took it over and started we started recreating it for him, and then it was even in the WikiLeaks documents where Hillary Clinton was mentioning the same. They wanted to go raid the temple, or Gilgamesh's temple, whatever, to find some Nephilim trails.
Yeah, they were almost finished building something, and we didn't like that. So we went over there. We're like, nope, that's ours, dude. It's crazy. Like if you think
Saddam
about
Hussein saw himself as a modern reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar.
Yes,
He believed he was reincarnated.
Really? That's crazy, dude.
to think about like all these places on the planet, all these different like countries and things, like they all have their own like secret hidden like ancient machine of knowledge, hidden in it everywhere, all around the world.
That was so weird. I thought YouTube shut it down. I was like, well, I guess YouTube could. They were like, that's it.
Those conspiracy.
They said
dudes, man.
Gilgamesh.
Y'all seen that though? The unearthing of Gilgamesh's tomb and shit. Have y'all seen those videos?
Yeah.
Dude?
Yeah. where
Have
hear,
you ever
like,
read the book?
chains and the screaming?
Bro, Joe, it looks like you, dog.
It kind of looks like
With the
him.
long
Looks
beard
like
and the
you did.
hair. When you had,
Wasn't
the
Gilgamesh
long
like
hair.
12 or 15 feet tall though?
Yeah.
15
He's supposed to
feet
be
or something?
huge, man. Yeah.
But I'm saying like the luxurious hair and the beard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
When
dude, like he had a watch, you know, and
Mhm.
they zoom in on the watch and it's like it doesn't say the
Dude, I thought that he
1
was
through
making
12.
it up on the. You can go on the release
Is that-
documents on the CIA page. I thought
that
she was
been-
making.
That hasn't
Go
been
ahead.
disproven, right? Like that's real.
No,
right?
you can look it up through our
Yeah.
U.S. Freedom
Yeah.
of Information Act says that this is. That's when people made that video.
Yeah.
That's because at first I was like, "There's," but
Yeah.
when you can pull stuff up there. But I will throw this caveat in. Because we used to always love pulling like, here's the directly from the USA, breaking news. Who knows? What if they wanted to sell a narrative that they were like, freedom of information, guys? We can't answer on Roswell, but here's the entire unearthing of Gilgamesh, and here's video of it, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It gets
This could be
weird.
dangerous. These people might need some freedom soon.
Oh, we don't want.
That's
not a good thing.
over there? look like you need a little red, white, blue in your life.
It sounds like it's getting pretty scary. You guys need some freedom?
They need some
Smells like y'all.
Team America.
little bit of freedom. We're gonna come over. We're gonna come over.
You guys know who Hank Hill is?
You're busy. No, we're gonna come over.
Talking propane.
America. Fuck yeah.
Propane accessories.
You're sleeping. Oh, I'm okay. I'm awake. I'll come over and get you some freedom anytime you want.
Dang it, Bobby.
Dude. But that's another one of those things.
I'll
Like,
tell you what.
that the Euphrates River is drying up, and if there is something under there, do we want to know? You know what I'm saying? I
I
think
want
we
to
should
know
start.
where the unicorns is.
I think we need to start digging trenches to the ocean to fill that bitch back up. Keep whatever's in there.
I don't think that it's only there though. Over there in those areas, I have heard of stories that we have found technology in like areas like Grand Canyon, and even down in Australia, that some ancient like type of technology and mechs have been found. This is like a worldwide thing.
Some crevasses need to be hidden forever. You know.
I agree. Some crevasses should not.
Sometimes
be
Well,
covered.
if you enter into a crevasse, you might not like what you find.
Well, sometimes you can have a parting gift, Just depends.
So this ties into the question that I'm thinking, right? If we are remnants of our ancient ancestors, angelic ancestors, and alien ancestors, whatever, and our ancient
I was the
ancestors
fastest
are
swimmer.
the owners. If our ancient ancestors are the owners of this technology, these ancient technologies, don't we have the inherent right to study these? Or because I do see a lot of people who are like, no, we shouldn't touch any of this, leave it alone. It's like, no, like this is who we
I like
are
that.
by DNA, right?
Well, hell yeah, man. We should be able to at least know that there's some power there, and we just maybe I think the answer has always been like, hey, don't worry about it. But I think the answer should be like, yo, we don't know, but it's fucking powerful, and we should probably stay away.
They got the they got the mercury under the pyramids in Mexico.
Well, I think
mean,
that'd
yeah.
be like saying, like,
I
Why?
know that.
you're 8 and your parents own a car. Does that inherently allow you to be able to drive that car at the age of 8, or should you learn a little bit more shit before you decide to?
Damn
operate a
right.
vehicle?
Yeah,
You
I
know?
like that. Yeah.
So yes, you do inherently have like a right as a descendant of these people to learn what they knew and build upon it. But we need to make sure that we're learning how to use it before we use it.
So
You know?
if we're a culture as a human
You're right.
race in our adolescence, which I think we still are. I think we're, like I said at the very beginning, I got maybe we were on the chop shop before, but like I think we're entering in this phase of going from the adolescent stage of our society, our technological culture, into this early adulthood. I think there is a switch happening right now, and we're all seeing it. We all feel it energetically, physiologically, culturally, politically. We're entering this realm of like, hey, what's important? What do we need to know? What are these questions that used to be itching at us every day? And now we're like, okay, I understand why I should not have learned the answer now. And now I'm learning it today. I think that's where we're going to realize, like, there's a reason why we didn't have those questions answered. And we're going to get those answers. Maybe not tomorrow.
Didn't
but...
Lou Elizondo say the
Yeah,
answers are really bleak?
Yeah.
Or something
yeah.
like, what was the term? Was it bleak or something along those lines? Something like it was not like depressing. They used some fancy word to be like, it's a little depressing. Whatever the fancy word for depression
No,
is.
that actually, your question actually ties into where I was going. Now, wouldn't this be like if we're trying to kind of adapt with some of this ancient technology that we aren't necessarily in full connection with, might this be why we're trying to go to other planets or trying to change our DNA through mRNA? That because like they're trying to actually morph us into adaptable and connective, humans, where we can then go into the pyramids and the pyramids start activating, or we can go to other planets and we actually mesh, right? Like we're actually connecting with other higher sources. Like, some occultists say that like we have 12 DNA strands hidden within inside of us, right? Or something like that. Like we have multiple DNA strands that are from the ancient past that we don't have unlocked yet.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
I think that's kind of like how like cars now, you just hold your key fob and you get in and you push the button and the car starts, but you have to have that key fob in order for the car to start. So like, as you as a human, maybe you have to be at a certain point for you to go in the pyramid and the pyramid activate. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You've got to learn what that key fob is before you can activate these machines. And we just haven't figured out how to make a key fob for this thing yet, for us to go in and activate it or have it activated,
Yeah, it's like explaining what a key is first. Okay, a key is you put something inside of something and it's a mechanism that you turn it, and then they're like, okay, well, what is this thing? Oh, well, okay. So that was just the concept of a key, right? So moving past that, it's a little bit more complicated now. Yeah. It's not a physical interaction. It's more of like a spiritual interaction key. Like electromagnetic interaction, like pressing a button and it can,
Everything
like
is spiritual.
I think it's a marriage of it's a
No,
constant
you
balance
said
of
key.
spirituality in the physical realm. It's like it's this constant balance. Of the yin and
You
yang,
are
know
a
what I'm saying?
spiritual being.
Well, I think we all are.
You're damn straight.
It goes to remind me, like, all right, Hollywood loves to drop these little signs and little videos, messages inside of their movies and shows. And Halo is one of them. So Master Chief in this new Halo show on HBO, he goes and touches this ancient artifact, supposedly, and this ancient artifact reconnects him with Source. It reflashes him back to ancient memories, but also repowers his consciousness. And like, might that be what we're missing? Some of this ancient source that they're trying to reconnect us to. Like some people, some class. Like I would say that there are some things that we're not being told, right? If we as a species are being guinea pig genetically modified, but also like some of the things about, you said Ray Kurzweil earlier, he definitely said that we are going to be in this transhumanistic state, that we're going to adapt with robots, that we're going to be like one in one. Might that be in order to actually save the human race? I mean, I dare say, like, and it sounds stupid, but you look over time and time again, we're being wiped out by floods, and we're being pretty much raped by the sky gods, the fallen angels, and taken by Bigfoot's missing 411. Like, they might be thinking that we need to survive in different ways, It might be a little bit something that a lot of people can't hang with, right? They're like, dang.
But what about this though? Just
Like,
throwing
this
it
is
out there
good.
one more time for the zoocosis thing. What if these things are allowed to come in here and do that because they paid for their hunting ticket? They paid for their pass to the park of Earth to interact with humans. They're paying for this experience, and they're just coming here. And that's why we as humans that should be out there wild, being outside of this basically zoo dome thing, whatever you want to call it, called Earth. And that's why these things can freely come here and do what they do, is because no, we're just like the deer raised on a 4,000 square acre, acre piece of land. This is a
You
trophy
said
buck to be
ankle.
hunted. Ankle, it's a big angle. Really, it's probably full on cankle at this point. But you know what I'm saying? The trophy bucks that are raised to just be hunted. They don't know that.
Is that why they feed us the line of like, you are so lucky to be alive. You are a very rare and special thing within the universe that has come to an existence on this planet. And while like on the small scale to me and you, like, hell yeah, I'm super grateful to like be here. But like on a big scale, because we don't know any better, like what if we're just everywhere? But like those dudes are doing cool stuff, like being like Star-Lord and stuff, and like we're stuck here, that would suck. Yeah,
That's why I always said, I think that like when those lights show up, I really think we're just super, super microscopic, and that's just the scientist who's got us on a little petri dish thingy in the lab, just like poking into view.
Bro,
We're like, oh my god!
I've literally
And
had
if you got abducted, you would just be taken.
I've had a dream about that, bro. Like, no lie.
Really?
Tell us
That's
what
what
the
I
dream is.
saw.
Jay, dreams are important. Tell us.
That's
Tell us.
That Willie just told it. It's exactly
no,
that.
like, Go,
it
tell
was,
us.
so scientists are flying over Sonny's house every night.
So
Abducting the crap out of him. He keeps telling stories. They can't stop laughing.
What is this white rain above?
I don't know if that's the case.
it's not a literal metaphor, but it's like it's the closest we can get to understand the concept of something observing us through
Yes.
a light spectrum, through a port, like a key. And the only
Mhm.
way we can, okay, like if you looked like 1,000 yards away and someone's looking at you at a telescope, this is what the dream was about. Someone's looking at you through a telescope. You don't really see the telescope, but you see maybe like a glint of glass, and it's like tiny. You're like, what the fuck is that? But to them, they see this vast world, and they
Who the
see
fuck's
you in
sniping at
all
me?
your detail. That's what it looks. That was the dream.
I mean, for me, it was what I thought. For me, why did I say it like
No,
that?
you're right.
When I participated in the mushroom world there, it was the realization of three things, but
I'm talking about
the
this
two,
world.
yeah, well, yeah, right there, that's the same one actually, which was that every single
Oh
thing
shit!
is
That's
alive,
what's up, dude.
everything is energy, all of it's alive,
That's awesome.
and then the second part was everything's watching me. Like everything, these eyes that I can only describe as the Egyptian eye. You know how the Egyptian eye has that weird eyebrow thing over it? Like their symbol that was used all the time for the eye.
I
It would, like,
horse,
come in-
yeah.
Yeah, that's what these things, everything looked like that. So they would be in space just floating, and the eyebrow basically looked just like that Egyptian eye, propelling itself, and everything was looking and observing you.
Cool.
So like maybe they just pay for the subscription to just, for all I've always wondered too, that all those eyes, were they people previously who had tripped here or been on this trip or were tripping, and you're viewing the eyes of them at the same time?
So
Because I was
so
watching
I think that
teeth
there
and
might be some-
mouths, waterfalls. It was waterfalls made of teeth and mouths. It was a lot.
Also, the Eye of Ra is like the coolest logo ever.
Did you just have some symbols there?
I do think that there are some higher dimensional entities that are floating out there. Like, so our plane and our understanding of this universe is very minuscule. Like hypothetically, if these creatures and entities are that big, we wouldn't be able to see them, and we would only be able to like sense their ether necessarily, right? I've had this dream meditation where I've seen like outside of our Earth this giant entity just floating in front of our sun. It kind of matches what you're saying, like that we're just looking at us like guardians. we wouldn't be able to actually see them. I think the only way is like through ether, through energy patterns for sure.
I guess all that bothers me is I just feel like a self-sufficient ecosystem that reproduced just like AI, just like control boards would do. And we've just said to the next generation, no, you got to produce, you got to reproduce, your lineage has to continue on. That's the deep things for humans. We're like, nope, you got to reproduce, got to reproduce, got to reproduce.
Or we're being harvested as the AI's psilocybin, where our experiences are the psilocybin trips for the AI.
That'd
And
be
with
wild.
that, I gotta say, I gotta go, guys.
I gotta go too, fellas.
Love y'all.
Hey, thank you so much, 509, and thank you everybody for being with us, man. Loved it. Love all
That's
you fools.
spooky, dude. It was good
Hey,
seeing
this
you
was
again. Spooky.
amazing, yo.
Yes.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, bro. Thank you for having us, man.
Hey, thank you guys. Honestly, I
All right, sorry. Yeah, my
appreciate this. We're gonna have to do this like maybe every Friday or something.
Dude, that'd be
Hey, man.
fun.
I mean,
We're-
every second Friday we can go ahead and.
Take some
we're start-
mushrooms. I'll send you my address.
yeah, we're starting to ramp up again, so we'll be around a little more often now. So,
All right, peace, guys.
see you later, Ben. Have a good one.
God bless.
Bye, Spooky.
Have a good night. God bless. Thank you so much.
Oh man,
You know, we're looking at us versus these outside entities, and we right now we probably have more power than they do. If what all the ancient stories were saying that is true, like about us being very special, and let's just say us being in the image of God, and some of the stories about who God was, Yahweh Bodwe, and him being this almighty ruler, but also warrior, where he outclassed and outfought different type of warriors or gods, and that's why they said he was the best. He was I mean, I'm not trying to get too religious, but this is like what some of the ancient cultures believe, right? So
for sure. Yeah.
if we are in the image of one of the best warriors or best spirits, then that might be like why we are going through such a turmoil. Like when we're at a evolutionary stage, physically, like we're kind of evolving into like higher physical beings. And the people who are spiritual, they stay spiritual, right? But the lesser, the people who don't understand the spiritual, like they're for sure getting lost. Yeah, I think that like in all reality, we probably have more dominance over this earth. What do you guys think? How do you guys think that the actual power is? Because I do think that like humans, for sure, they have some great strength over other entities here.
I think we have the illusion of control.
No,
I feel
because
like
all right, so like this is just interesting where these are not coming from religious people. Like the UFO community is far in between all different religions, right? Everybody's believing in their own things, but one of the main things you guys hear about is that here on Earth, if we're getting spiritually attacked, we can call on like Jesus Christ, or we can meditate, or we can, use some sage or frankincense, or we can tap into this higher power to control and push out these entities. Like that kind of give us some power over this domain if God made this domain and we're in his image.
I think you have a certain amount of power, but I don't know if I'd even call it power. If we're talking in more of a religious aspect, I think you have.
Oh no, I mean spiritual or key.
Yeah, spiritual or religious or whatever. Like if we're talking like in a sense of like a creator, I don't know if it's even like a sense of power, but I think what you have over them is you have a sense of grace, right? This all being creator has given you a sense of grace, and he's the idea that God made human, which was his most perfect creation of all time, so perfect, in fact, that some of the angels decided to turn against him because they hated that idea that, they had to bow to humans, right? And so they left. They fell out of the graces of God himself. And so God doesn't give them that grace because they have the knowledge of knowing that what they're doing in the long run is going against what God said. So God has pushed them out of his grace. There's no return for them. You, as a spiritual being, as a human being, you might not have that power to be like, hey, get out of here, demon, right? But you have that grace from God who can intervene and put his foot down, because he is the all high, if we're looking at it from that aspect, right? So I think by grace, you have the opportunity to win that battle, you know?
Well, one of the reasons I do say that we can win that battle through that, I do believe that. But also on the second aspect of why I believe that we do have some power is that the Tibetan and the monks, they have shown through numerous of trials that their ki and their prana is actually very strong, right? Like where they can meditate and then use their key to make something happen a mile away or 500 feet away or something. Like they'll force punch someone in, through key, and then boom, someone will get hit, or they'll force heal someone and then boom, someone will be healed. Like they'll do all these sort of tests and test their strength. Now, if we do have all these extra dimensional abilities, psychic abilities, clairvoyance, levitation, telekinesis, all these different things that probably we're not aware of just yet, I would think that these might be some of these extra dimensional abilities that give us power over this domain, while some of these other beings aren't necessarily flesh or biological. They're more ethereal, so they don't have the same type of I don't even know what we are, but we don't have the same powers we do. And also, if our DNA is being evolved like this, what's happened over the last 10 years, like, they're through the medical program, medical establishment, mRNA, and even Elon and NASA are saying like, hey, we must change the DNA of humans in order to go to Mars and this shit. Like, wouldn't we be gaining extra abilities too? Like, or how would you guys see that? Because that's what I'm seeing, where over the last 10 years, if we're under this genetic sequencing, I would think that if we're being adapted to other races or higher dimensionals, like, I think that higher dimensional abilities, we might be unlocking new things. How do you guys think that?
I think it'd be awesome to see if you could separate it, right, for like thousands of years, and you take the branch of, like, I guess, artificial intelligence and human line, and then you take a naturally evolving and see what the genetics were able to do over another couple million or billion years. If you could keep those separate and see what happens and see the transformation and like what a human could possibly become, I think that's neat that you could turn on these abilities. Like, they're already inherent in you. You just haven't figured out how to turn it on, And then you start looking into that stuff about your DNA and how it has like the caps on the telomeres. So like the genetic code stops at a certain point. Like, was that already altered for a reason? Like, did we, back in the day, we lived for such a long time. You look in the Bible and all these people were living for, 300 years. And then we got dwindled down into this, a small amount to like 120 years. And like, you look at the DNA and it's like, oh, well, that's cool. Those have caps on them. So like your genetic code isn't able to, continue making itself. It stops at a certain point, and then you start to age and you get old. Like what's happening,
Have you seen that guy that talked about how it was the oxygen and the way the sun changed?
No.
Oxidation or what? Like,
yeah, this Japanese dude. He grew a tomato plant that got to over 40 feet tall. They built scaffolding for this thing.
Holy shit.
It was a cherry tomato, so he built it in a greenhouse. He pumped in extra oxygen, and he put in these rays so that it would, like, so the sun couldn't get to it. I forget exactly what he did with the light form. He changed something so that the light coming into this room would represent like an older life form that we would have been getting from before. And this thing ended up going 40 foot tall. It was a normal cherry tomato. Like that might only, if you stretch a good cherry tomato out, like 8-10 feet max with vines, but normally about 4.5, 5 feet, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they normally yield, a couple hundred tomatoes tops. Like out of an excellent tomato plant, maybe a couple hundred. This thing produced 15,000 tomatoes, the size of softballs.
That's insane.
Yeah, there was a cherry tomato. So I do sometimes wonder. I'm like, man, with whatever was going on with those guys, like maybe that was part. Maybe it wasn't just the genetic editing. So what? But the good news is like, well, it makes me curious to be like, so what if we do that to us? Like, why is stopping us from doing that now? Like, what is the, what's the holdup on that? I guess
It's like, I guess maybe we just don't know how. Like, what do we do?
Well, I do think the food thing, as much as I freaking love food, clearly, the more and more I watch that, I'm like, yeah, I got to start doing some fasting stuff for real, because you could just see this in your DNA. Like, it was not, we were not supposed to be like what we are necessarily. Yeah, it's just not there for our body. Just doesn't make sense. And the older I've gotten, like when I was a teenager, I couldn't do it. Or maybe the teenage, early 20s, I needed to eat a lot. Like now that I broke 30 and everything, it's like I'll skip breakfast, I'll eat a big lunch, and then I'm good to the next lunch. And I never used to be like that, but I'm
control of our eating, I think, for sure. Like nowadays, we're definitely in more control. Like now, I'm the same. I eat like in certain time periods of the day. I don't eat like I used to, where it's all day. I'll eat big for 2 hours and go about the rest of my day, and then 12 hours later, I'll eat big for another 2 hours, and boom, I'm good. But we're talking about Japan, right?
Just so I don't forget, I'm so sorry, Joseph. Real quick, Joe, did you ever finish yours out? Your arm?
Oh,
remember when you guys did your tattoo thing live?
Hey, nice.
I got it colored in, yeah.
Oh, man. Did Ben get his that night, or are you the only one with the tattoo right now?
I'm the only one with the tattoo.
I thought so. Christina asked the other night, and I was like, dude, I think Joel was the only one that night.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still
And then you guys took a big long break. You're like, am I going to be the only one for forever?
I told him, I was like, well, we have to do the show at least a couple more times because you still don't have your tattoo.
God. Okay, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
So you're talking about Japan. Nice tattoo, by the way. Honestly, so Japan, like there's stories about Japan being infiltrated by these fish people who are master geneticists, right? And yeah, I think that Japan has some highly advanced genetics to them, and the Japanese culture throughout some of the ancient stories. I think that it might be why Germany hit them up. They knew they were technologically, advanced, superior. They were just a smarter, higher level.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that one about the Japanese fish.
What are they
Well,
called?
what was his name that almost took over Earth? Genghis Khan? He tried to fight the Japanese a couple times, and he got messed up.
Yeah.
Really?
Their ships would get jacked up on the way there because they think now because of the sea current. But there was
Yeah,
the
the
legend of that. They said that Japan was guarded by these sea dragons, essentially. And then even when they did get there, they ran into people who actually knew how to fight, had been practicing like being samurais. And dude, they never actually got through to those guys.
Yeah.
But just imagine, because those samurais with their stuff on, these guys just so like
The
even the
mountainous
replica
terrain
ones
and-
now look scary. I can't imagine when it was like the legit samurais.
Dude, seriously.
You know who references the Japanese and some of that is, I think it's X-Men. They traveled over there to Japan. They have this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And X-Men's very interesting with it. They talk about the superhuman aspects. I do think Hollywood is telling us more than meets the eye with half of these movies and shows. If let's just say if all of our art is a recreation of the consciousness or the spirits of Earth. Like in some aspects, everything that sticks to the strongest powers and strongest creativity and like something that we are most attracted to on a deeper conscious level for people like us who understand this shit. Like I think that there's more to MECI because I'll be honest, there's times where I watch even for a second, I'll watch some of these cartoons that are based completely on fairy tale bullshit, not or even the shows that are fake. I can't find a connection to them. But then I watch some Marvel kind of stuff that's based on Thor or something like there's a deeper spiritual conscious connection that I know is present, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, one that I think was fun, my son watches, is called Gravity Falls. Have you ever watched this cartoon?
Dude, I love that show, bro.
So Gravity Falls was pretty funny. There was one scene in particular I thought was funny. It was like a cloud or something that his grandpa told him not to release. It was like in his grandfather's consciousness that his grandfather had trapped into his consciousness. It was like the only place he could keep it. And then he buried that consciousness within his deeper, not subconscious, but like a locked chamber, as it were. And anyways, this thing gets free. And his grandson's trying to help save him, and there was a spot where, first of all, the thing that appears it's the money symbol, right? It's the eye, the all-seeing eye, is what this thing is, kind of essentially. And he's like giving the loosely, you can see the story plot coming, kind of kid version of a story, and in the middle of that, the kid asked him, he's like, "Was there anything you want to leave me? Any parting advice you want to leave me with?" And he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "The world's a matrix, money is all fake." He like lists like 7 things that I was like, those are like adult topics. And then he was like, "All right, good luck." And then disappears. And I was like, the fact that he was hitting on the world and everything being a matrix, he's like, everything is just your imagination. You control where you go. Money doesn't exist. Nothing is real. And you think that you're here existing now, but you're going to find out in the end that you were never actually here. And I was like, what the frick?
So doesn't that make you, doesn't that upset you? that you feel that way, right? And then you know that if you don't pay your taxes, somebody else who feels the exact same way will come to your house and put you in jail, and then you'll be judged by a jury of your peers who also feel the exact same way. And you're like, God damn it, why are you imprisoning me for being in this for not wanting to be in a prison? Like this is madness.
So I just want to know. All right, like we're thinking about money. In the ancient cultures, they would say that if you didn't have a piece of gold on you, you wouldn't be able to go into the afterlife, right? Now, like what is happening with paper money and the value of afterlife now and how we're actually transitioning? Which one's a lie? Like that currently right now, if we just die, we can go to heaven, or is it in the ancient days, we had to have a piece of currency in order for heaven to accept this?
I don't think money is the root of all evil, right? I think what you do with money makes the difference. And I think what's evil is the way that we push that, like having money and being able to actually do stuff in a negative light. I think that's evil because, if we all worked really hard to be able to do that, can you imagine how much we could help each other? I feel like a lot of us are just stuck in this idea of oh, well, I'm not in a wealthy lineage or I don't know, certain things. So a lot of us are complacent and we're just happy with making it by and be like, yeah, cool. Look, I did it. I'm happy. I'm eating. We're having a good time. Here we go. And it's I don't know, being able to help others around you, I think is important. So I don't know, but the symbolizing the gold coin to get to the afterlife, that's interesting. Does it cost money to go to the afterlife, or because what is it in some of the ancient texts, you had to pay the toll to the shipman to take you into the afterlife, right? That's what the coin was for, so you could pay for your travel.
Across the river of Hades, Styx, across the river of Styx into Hades.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, that
well,
kind of
but he also
sucks,
said that it'd be easier for a camel to enter through the eye of the the gate of the city than it would be for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven. So it also seems to me that it's not speaking of something that's like a physical thing. I do think it is like you're talking about transitional, like it has to be a spiritual ascension, recognizing that, because if I feel like even though money is not evil inherently, it tends to be at the core of a lot of evilness. It's like the base value of what we could get to. Whereas if you transcend that, realizing, like you're saying, that all that's just weird context. I don't even say we agreed to. It's just what we were born into. We never. Was no point that I sat down and was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with every single bit of this."
So
ever.
It's the spiritual gold, the spiritual highness that gets us into heaven.
Well, it's
and
like
that's
the turning the lead into gold, right? I do think that with them being weighed against the feather, all these things that are impossible to do, like you're saying, you can't physically in your form do it. You would have to transcend your physical self, I think, to do these things. And I don't know what that ends up being. I have no idea. But
So in essence, would these occultic symbols that we see on our dollar bills, these pyramids, these eyes, these eagles, these, literally Masonic and, these odd symbols, would they be devaluing our spirit? Would they be actually plunging us in that sense, and then actually turning us into the alchemical opposite of who we are? We're committing ourselves to destruction and chaos instead of peace.
I think it's kind of like I don't know if it's spiritual warfare, because we got to think that, like, there is all the symbolism, but all the symbolism doesn't exactly belong to the exact same group,
Agreed.
And it's
Right.
kind
Like
of
the
like,
Nazi-
okay,
Yeah, like the swastika for years was used in across the globe sacred rituals before the Nazis ever tainted it with their anuses to then become what it is now, where if you see a swastika anywhere, I don't know about here. I don't know if it's still illegal. I believe it is illegal, right? Like it's an actual crime. Yeah.
I think so.
So I didn't know what it was like for you guys there, but for here, yeah, you're not supposed, like, you can get in a lot of trouble. So it's like how we were taught 666 represented the devil and the Satan. And it's like, well, no, if you break it down into an actual mass, like between 3 parts carbon, 3 parts, what is it? Carbon, oxygen, and then I forget the other, sodium. The 3 parts that equal life equal 666
of human life.
Of our carbon. Yeah, you need enzymes.
I think it's nitrogen and oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and one other one.
All I know is that they broke it out to where technically 666, so yeah, 666 would represent life. And I've often wondered, like, if you're told something is the devil, you're told something is completely evil, I think in some sense I'm more leery about the things that globally are being told as evil than the things that are being told as like, oh, it's totally okay. This is what you should be doing.
yeah,
In my opinion, it's like the I feel like it's the, what do you call it? Reverse psychology.
yeah,
Sometimes it makes me wonder, because it's like, well, why was that number? I mean, there is a lot to do morology. I'm not arguing that, but the mark of the beast growing up when I was growing up in church, that was like, they're going to literally have 6666 printed across their forehead.
yeah.
Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't freaking know. But it was such a taboo thing that, like, I at no point in my life was like, I want to research the number 6666, because, like, it was considered evil. It was like, oh, I can't. It's the devil incarnate in number. And then we start to look into it. It goes, I feel like there's more to it there. You know what I mean? Like, the things that really matter seem to get painted in those real dark. I would argue this too. Let me just, going back to what Ben was talking about earlier, the petri dish, or if we are in some sort of zoo, I would even argue that there are people who, like the people we have here, that don't like how we harvest animals, so they show up to these plants to try to rescue these animals and get them out.
Yeah.
I even sometimes think with some of the people that get, have experiences, get taken, maybe there are people who are like, we're trying to get you guys out. We're trying to get you out of this. Like, you're in a prison. You just don't even know it, man.
Yeah.
And even if we can't get you free, we'll get your, children free, your lineage free. Maybe that's too far.
You're talking about Morpheus in the Matrix, right? No, you're absolutely right, dude. That's Morpheus in the Matrix. And there's also this other show that all right. I was going to say, I should have mentioned this earlier while everyone is here. There was this show that I've watched on Netflix called Travelers. I'm so deep into like conspiracy shows, but real shit, right? there's a show called Travelers, and an AI gets created in the future that realizes the only way to save humanity is to create, I don't even know it, to create past um to throw consciousnesses into the past of human lives. So I guess in the future, consciousnesses are tied into computers, which is what we're seeing nowadays. They want to freaking download our consciousness into a computer for the future. Now the show, it sends back these consciousnesses into technologically capable humans who, you know, probably have chips in them, who probably have shots in them, and they implant these consciousnesses back into him, and they're like, all right, take over this human and save his life at right when he's supposed to die. Like the computers are constantly reading like, oh, you know, this is when this person dies, this one, you know, this is all that, right? They have it on a time map, and so they send people back in order to save humanity. Yeah, you know, I forgot where I was even headed with that, but yeah, look, that show, Travelers. They know this AI is sending back these time, you know, future us's into our previous lives, I guess, right? It's an interesting show. It kind of mind fucked me while I was talking about it, because like I think about it, it's one of the deepest shows I've watched.
What if a lot of this stuff is like, what if there is like a still ongoing war, right, between like heaven and hell, and it's brutal, like it's fucking brutal, right? But God created humans, and you know, they're not supposed to be in the middle of this battle. But what if it's the job of some of them to, have y'all ever seen WandaVision?
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that earlier.
Where she creates that reality for
Yeah.
Vision, and they live in this reality, and she protects that reality. You know, what if it's something like that, where like there's this fucking massive war happening, and we're in this reality that, you know, we don't feel right because it's not how it's supposed to be. You know, we're just kind of stuck here until things are figured out. You know, like WandaVision, dude. Like something is got us in this just,
you know. You know what? That's actually in The Legend of Zelda 64, Ocarina of Time, because Ganon fucks over. Remember you have to, as Link, you have to go into the temple and go back in time in order to save the future, because there's this weird spell, Ganon spell, from his castle, right? He takes over the seven sages, uses their powers in order to take over humanity.
I played the shit out of that game, and I guess I just was too young to even understand the concept.
Oh, dude. So you know, The Legend of Zelda, if you go back into the original Japanese you know, books of the first creation, the first time it's ever released, and in the instruction manuals, it has all these Christianity references. In the Japanese version of the game, they have a item called the Bible. They have churches. It has all these Christianity references. And then when it was sent over to America, the executives like, no, sorry, this is too spiritual. You have to go ahead and take off those words.
I have thought often, as much as I do love, at least what the original supposed foundation of the history we were taught of the United States was, like you don't know within your. The only thing I can compare it to is when I was a little kid, when you're like, say, 10 and under, and you go outside of your city, like you go to another state, and you realize they don't have the same store as you.
Yeah.
Like in that moment, you're like, oh, Meyer isn't everywhere? Why doesn't everybody have a Meyer? And you're like,
what is I love Carl's Jr.'s.
Exactly. That's the only thing I can compare it to, is that moment of realization that you just don't know what you don't know. So if you're raised, that's where people are like, man, these conspiracy theorists, they go really deep. And it's like, you just don't know what you don't know. None of us know. And that's all we're saying is we don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. That's the only thing I know, is that I don't know. But I know that what we're being told is this. Nah, no way.
Well, I do think that when we start hearing these, like when I listen to other podcasts, And when I start speaking these things, there's something spiritual or conscious that happens that starts unlocking these things like a web, right? Like if we listen to kind of one paragraph of conspiracy in our dreams, the other three paragraphs might come out. And in our, spiritual web of life, the other rest of that story might start happening. Like once we start opening ourselves up, and even for the viewers at home, like, yeah, they might not know, but they kind of got a little bit of a grasp. And just that grasp, as they say, the thread can just pull down the yarn, whatever, right? A little bit of a hang on by a thread and you can take, pull out the yarn, right? Or how's that go? Right. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit can get you so far. And that's where I think a lot of us have, received of our information. Like, it just takes a little bit of a rabbit hole, and these things kind of actually dig you out of holes. I would say that if over the last 100 years or so, we're being flipped up into this upside down world, the only way out of this upside down world is to flip ourselves upside down, then travel backwards. And so then we actually get on top. If we're being constantly drugged downward, we gotta, flip it all around and then boom, go backwards. Like we gotta oh, okay, hold on. 1 second. I gotta stop eating, and then I gotta stop thinking. I gotta stop doing all these other things. Let me dive what's deep into the consciousness and what I feel, because a lot of people don't trust their intuition these days. I think that's one of the misconceptions. Intuition, that they call it the sixth sense, but a lot of people just think like, oh yeah, bluff, whatever. No, I think it's all real. Like just even listening to this or getting that nudge in your spirit is just enough. I that's probably something that we're powerful with. Like all of us right now. It's been about 2 hours. You guys want to take a quick break, or should we keep on going deeper?
Man, I'm about to
Let's see,
pass
it's
out.
2 a.m. for me, so I've
Yeah.
gotta get to sleep because otherwise the kids are gonna be out.
Hey, no, honestly, this is honestly a good teaser into what we should be doing every Friday or every couple Fridays, whatever, man. We'll
Dude,
go
this
ahead
was a
and get
lot
this
of
done.
This was a lot of fun, man. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much
you.
for having us on. And like I said, we've all been gone for a little bit, so it was nice to get back and chat with everybody and just kind of go off the rails and have some fun, dude. It's been a while since I've had these conversations, so I'm
This
super stoked.
is really what the podcasting is all about. Like, so we're meant to speak our souls. A lot of people, they don't speak their souls, and they just speak what the paper wants them to speak. No, like truly, this is where the deepest connections happen. It might not be the prettiest of conversations, it might not stick to the book in all matters, but no, this is where we allow people to find out who they are, find out the reality of them, where we are. And I think this is exactly what the world needs. Hey man, we are exactly what the world needs, I'll be honest.
It's important to ask questions.
Heck yeah.
And to hit up all those different brain signals, right? Like, as they say, we have a left and right hemisphere, but there's more to it. Like, we have multiple parts of our brain, and some people are just one track minded, like us around here. Jeez, we got all of our brain parts working. No, like we have everything connected, and it shows, man.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, this has been awesome. Thanks so much for having us on, and
Yeah,
let's
definitely,
do this
bro.
again soon, man.
Hey,
Hey,
I didn't get to tell these other guys where they can find they can be found. Let everybody know where they can find you guys first.
Well, with Sonny, he's the Paranormal Chop Shop. So if people just type in Paranormal Chop Shop, you probably find that. And they talk about him and Spooky, who was on here tonight as well, kind of co-host that one together. And they're very laid back. Sometimes Spooky's just on there rebuilding the motor or an engine. He's just doing all kinds of stuff. So, and occasionally they talk about, some paranormal activities.
yeah, dude. And you can find us, man, at UFOGaragePodcast.com and right here on YouTube. And we will, if you've been checking out the the teaser trailers, we will be coming soon on YouTube. On YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's about to be very tuby. The tubiest of tubulars that you can possibly.
Yes, dude.
Dude, I'm glad you guys are coming back, man. I missed y'all. I missed hanging out with y'all, man. You know, I'm a big fan, but also, hey, a big friend, and you know, I'm glad to see you guys coming back. It's honestly, inspiring and exciting.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Hey, we're all out here doing the same thing, man. So, dude, I hope you have a excellent birthday. 30, right?
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. It's surprisingly, bro. You know, I think the 20 and back
30.
program makes me feel about 21 for a good long time.
Heck yeah, man. That is awesome, brother. Well, hey, you have a great night, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Hey, yes, sir. You guys have a great night. God bless. Hey, go check these guys out. UFO Garage when they come back, and Big Willy whenever he's on, wherever he's on, he's on wherever, whenever.
Oh man, later, guys.
Hi,
Hey,
peace.
out. All right, guys, you guys heard that. It's been about a 2-hour blast of an episode, and go check out all my friends. Hey, also go check out my sponsors down below. I got plenty of sponsors. You know, like we're all going through the same thing in this world. We're trying to understand how to best financially set ourselves, and I got the coupons for you guys and all sorts of varieties, right? If you want the supplements, I got the supplement sponsors. If you want a little bit of a healing, I got the healing sponsors. If you want some water sponsors, I got some water cleaner sponsors. Like, look, man, this is a share for share network, and I'm sharing this out with you guys because I was shared with some knowledge and some connections, and I wouldn't be where I am today without doing what I do. Just being an open source for everyone. See with the information and the love. I don't try to hold back what I got on my own personal inventory. Like, hey, you see a lot of people out there. They're very stubborn with what they got. They don't want to tell you anything with what they're holding, the inventory they're holding. Nah, man. Hey, this is the stuff that I use on my daily life that I've changed my life with. A lot of these products, and it's evolved me mentally, spiritually, physically, helped me take myself to the next level, through jobs, through my workouts. Yeah, it's been one of those things that I've been able to adapt and really evolve with these connections, and me researching into companies, and really resourcing my time, and yeah, I take the information serious. I research these people, these companies a little bit, and more than a little bit. So I understand where we're going as a race, a humanity, and where we should be going. And you can see it for yourself with what I've done in such a small amount of time. And I just want to be able to share you everything that's been able to help me, and I want to see you guys go to the same places that I've been going, being mentally happy, physically sharp, spiritually like fluid, yo. Yeah, just take a minute and go check out my sponsors, and I appreciate all of you guys, and I love you guys. I'm about to be 30. It doesn't feel like it, man. Yeah, just gonna say that I really feel the whole different level. Like, I feel like I'm living in a different dimension. And rightfully so. I take the time to express to y'all that these other dimensions are real. I'm gonna just get it out, man. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a great night. Make sure to donate because I got a lot of bills coming up. I got to get LASIK eye surgery. I had braces, root canal, all this just come up this year. As you evolve, you got to take the appropriate steps in order to secure yourself, health wise, like physically, right? So that's what I've done. Hey, check out the donation links below. And if you guys want to talk, like on on the side, whatever, or if you guys want to just hit me up with any messages about any type of topics, doesn't matter. I don't really care. Just talk. I'm cool with it. I love interacting with my fans. Go on Instagram, Snapchat, all that. Ask for my stuff, right? And so talk to me wherever you guys want to talk to me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be YouTube. Peace. Be blessed. Be high. See you guys next time on the 509 Divine Fives podcast. I love y'all. Bye.
Meditating, analyzing everything I see, so I see new horizons. Took the acid, feeling blasted in my brain, so I've been sitting up inside it, thinking about the present and the future. I'm improving cause I am a trooper, never getting caught up in the loop. Got up out it cause I found the truth. Woke up to a beauty of the day, the sun is shining, so I'm finna stay. Sitting, soaking up all of the rays, till I feel it surging through my brain like some booger sugar. Did a lot of cane, experimented with it, couldn't name all the times I did it, feeling like a fade. Yeah, I'm really glad that I let it go, cause I gotta be prepped for the time when the plane ride is a new norm. So I know I'm gonna stay high, blaze on the ganja, feeling like I make my music go to another level while I take off. I can't ever stop this, fell in love with it, fit like a glove, so I'm never ever done with it. So now I'm about to rip another beat, ayy. One day I'll make a million in a week, yeah, shooting for the top spot. Feel like I'm a hot shot, like I really got a chance with it. I will not flop, somebody gonna make it dance when I pop off. Gonna have all the bitches taking all the tops off. I've been feeling like I'm really gonna kill it for the rest of my life, so I've been staying focused. In my soul, I've been feeling like $1 million, so I know that everything is really getting closer. Yeah, no posers, only been hanging with the ones I've chosen. Only all the people that are living in the right way, cause they spending every day growing. Yeah, no whole shit coming in my life and then leaving in a moment. That's the shit I'll never let into my life again, cause lately I've been feeling like I'm golden. Never showboat, I just showcase on my music that I made this far. Always knew that I could be the one that would get this far. Now I'm right here looking in my mirror, trying to figure out if there's any more fear, cause I'm getting rid of it all, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting rid of it all. Meditating, analyzing everything I see, so I see new horizons. Took the acid, feeling blasted in my brain, so I've been sitting up inside it, thinking